Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs, what's going on? Good evening. Welcome to a special edition of TLP Sports Club. Guys, I am coming live to you to pretty much talk to you about where Colorado is going to land in this college football playoffs pending that Colorado wins out. 2 more games. We play Kansas on Saturday, and then we play OSU to end out the season. Colorado must win out. The Big 12 is not what's the word? How can I put this? The Big 12 is not revered as one of the toughest conferences as compared. Well, let's just say if you compare it to the SEC and you compare it to the Big 10, they don't look at the Big 12 and the ACC. They don't look at the ACC and the Big 12 the same. All right? Because if you've been paying any attention to how they've been ranking, the AP poll have been ranking the teams in the Big 12. If the Big 12 loses a game, they fall like 6-7 spots. All right? So what that really means is that they don't really look at the Big 12 as competitive as the SEC and the Big 10. Because when those teams lose, they only fall a couple of spots. They don't fall that far down. So I did propose that we needed to make sure that we had a team in the top 10. We did. BYU. And I said, listen, BYU, listen. I don't know why people don't listen to me. I don't know why Brett Yomar did not cheat like I told him to do. If there is any time where you're supposed to cheat for a team, it's supposed to be BYU, okay? You are supposed to make sure by all means to make sure that you cheat for BYU to stay undefeated. Because what did it do for Kansas to beat BYU? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. They're still holding on to a little glimmer of hope. A slight glimmer of hope. They got to win out. They literally got to beat the best team in the Big 12, Colorado, on Saturday, and then win their next game, which they're capable of doing. I ain't going to hold you. They're capable of doing that. But they got to win out just to make a bowl game. Okay? So I understand you're fighting for something. But come on now. You ain't supposed to beat our undefeated team. You're supposed to pack it in and say, all right, we're going to take one for the team. They didn't do that. Unfortunately, they did not do that. They didn't get the message. Somebody did not get the message to Kansas and say, hey, man, take one for the conference. Okay? We need a team in that top 10. BYU stays undefeated. They're right there. Number 6. They were right there. They are all the way down. All the way down. Just because they lost, they shot them all the way down. Anyways, it was suggested by a few of my compadres to do a special show tonight, a special bracket show tonight. And I believe they're supposed to be releasing the playoff bracket tonight. And it was suggested that I do a show tonight. And it just happened to just fall right on, it fell in place. So here we are. All right. Yes, the show is 11 to 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. But unfortunately, we had to move it to this time. All right. It's a special show. It's not going to be the regular time. So Tuesdays, 11 to 1 o'clock p.m. is going to be the show. Okay. It's Eastern time. For those of you who are on the East Coast, it's Eastern time. And then you can do your math on where you live at. But here we are, guys. It seems as if this is getting interesting because not too many people, all right, not too many people. It feels in the chat right now. Not too many. Listen, people have not seen what's going on right now in college football. All right, college football is weird right now. You're not supposed to have a Georgia with 2 losses. You ain't supposed to have these big giant of teams losing 2 games. All right, it was tough for them to lose 1 game, let alone 2 games, and still hanging on. This is a weird time for college football. And keep in mind, I'm only a year and a half old in this here space that I'm in. So I'm not a legacy guy, but I do have legacy guys that come on this panel and they help me out. All right, ain't no secret, okay? Everybody already know. Harry B. I don't hide stuff, okay? I know my shortcomings. I ain't that short, but I got shortcomings. Oh, man, I'm a big black guy, okay? Stop playing with me. Anyways, you ain't seen college football like this. If you've been watching, paying attention to college football, yo, your blue bloods are not supposed to be losing 2 games. Not at this point, okay? It's supposed to be like at the end of the season, you already know exactly who's made it and who hasn't. We already know the brackets, how they're going to fall. But right now, do you really know how the bracket's going to fall? Do you really know? All right? Teams like Vandy's beating teams like Alabama. All right? Georgia Tech is beating your favorite teams. You're like, wait a minute. That going NIL, you are ruining our sport. Transfer portal. Listen, this is not no futuristic movie. What you are seeing, this is not a drill, guys. This is not a drill. What you are seeing and experiencing, it is the effect of NIL and the transfer portal, and it ain't going nowhere. It's only going to get worse. Remember when I told you guys that we're going to start with 12? Somebody's going to be upset. Somebody's going to go to Congress, wherever they got to go. We're going to 24 and eventually 64. Stop playing with me, okay? If basketball can do it, football is going to eventually get there. It's too much. There's too much invested. There's way too much invested for you to tell a fan base that's been cheering on their teams, okay, wearing all the merch, wearing the big fingers, the crazy cheese hats, okay, the bananas, the buffalo thingies. You cannot tell a fan base that does so that cheers on their team and they win over 9 games. You can't tell them, hey, yeah, by the way, your conference is not what we thought it was going to be, and we're sorry, but we know you guys, you know, you're good for it, but yeah, we don't like you, so go. There's no postseason for you. Just enjoy your popcorn bowl or your Pop-Tart bowl, okay, and go away. It ain't going to be enough. I'm trying to tell you right now, it is not enough. And it's only starting. It went from 4 to 12. We're going to 24. It has to. If you don't think it's going to 24, bookmark this live. All right? Bookmark this live and say, Prophet Harry B has done it again, because it's coming. It's going to. Somebody's going to be upset. So tonight's special show, we're going to be looking at the bracket, Colorado, where we at, because Colorado is in a unique place, all right? Moo Better said, nah, 24 too much. I'm telling you, all right? It's if basketball can do it, football has to do it, because how much longer can you tell a fan base that fights so hard, a school, a university, that's tried so much to do all the right things, dot every I, cross every T, do everything that you ask them to do, just in the end for you to snub them, for you to say, yeah, you did do everything we asked you to do. You did everything we asked you to do, but it wasn't enough. But wait a minute, why are you punishing me? A parent says, I'm going to give you an allowance to your child. I will give you allowance if you cut the grass and you wash the dishes and make sure your room is clean. The kid goes out. Let me make sure my microphone is good. The kid goes out. Not only do they cut the grass, wash the dishes, and clean their room, they actually swept the floor and the counters. They did everything and beyond. And then you say, yeah, Junior, that was cute. That was cool. But yeah, I'm not giving you your allowance. What? I understand. I'm from the third world. This is first world problems. I get it. Okay. For all my third world people that are out there watching, when you're asking what is an allowance, I get it. Okay. I ain't been back to the third world in a long time. Okay. Yes. In the first world, we got first world problems. And allowance is something we got here. Okay. Because we work and we got money and stuff like that. We give kids money to do chores that we used to do in the third world to just earn our keep. Okay? Everybody had to earn their keep in the third world. We pay kids here in America, okay? Oh, yes. Those are first world problems. But you can't tell a kid, I can't give you your allowance after you've asked the kid to do everything that you asked them to do, and they did it and beyond. College football is not going to be able to maintain this. Okay? It's not going to be able to sustain every single year pissing off some kind of fan base and saying, you're not good enough, and I'm sorry. So I got some information for you today. We're going to have a show. We're going to break this thing down all the way down to the core, okay? We're going to break it down, and then we're going to talk about Colorado. All right. And do me a favor, please press that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. All right. Because this is a special show. Not too many people know that I'm on right now. Okay. I know when we have the 11 o'clock show, most people come on. And I know a lot of y'all are probably like getting ready to call it, to call it in. So press the like button. Let's get more people watching so more people can know that we're on. But let's go. I got some information. We're going to break this down so that we can it's getting a little complicated, guys. Just a tad bit complicated, okay? In case you didn't know, in case you ain't been keeping track, it's starting to get real complicated. And I dare to say complicated to the point where the Big 12s, the winner of the Big 12 may have some issues. And I'm telling you, where the winner of the Big 12 may have some, and when you get to the point where they say, hey, we know that we said you get an automatic bid if you win your conference. But remember when we said that, we know we did say that, but we're sorry, guys. You may not be able to get in. I just want y'all to brace yourselves, okay? Brace yourselves. If you are, most people around here are Colorado fans, but they have their second team. They have their home team, right? I understand that. You're here for Coach Prime because you're a BWB, you're a bandwagon buff. So, but you have your team. So your team may be doing well this year, but if you don't see them in, just don't fret. Don't cry. Like, cry now. Let's cry together now. All right? Let's just cry together now. Because, number one, we are in a conference. The Big 12, it is not looked upon as a valuable conference. Now, Maybe it's going to take some time for the Big 12 to establish a more of a dominant front. Maybe don't, because you're already like the FCS. All right. Maybe don't schedule those FCS teams or those games. Try to get into like the Big 10 games, because you schedule, you're like the FCS, you're like the NDSU. Every year you schedule like a FBS team, and you start beating them. People start looking at you like, oh, you know what I'm saying, it might be good. So maybe this is a proposal. Okay, don't hurt the messenger. Maybe the Big 12 should start scheduling some Big 10, maybe 1 week Vandy-ish type SEC team. Vandy's good this year, so it's a little scary to say their name. But maybe like pick one of the weakest SEC teams and schedule them, put them on there, and just hold your fingers tight and just hope that you can just play good. And if you win, it's a plus. But if you hold them to, like, you know what I'm saying, maybe 1 or 2 scores, the people that do the rankings, they'll be like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe the Big 12 isn't as bad as we thought, because look, they played such and such SEC like Florida this year, right? Like, you take the Gators and you beat up on the lowly Gators, even though they beat LSU. But if you pick the Gators at their worst and you smack them around because Cormani is not ready, right? Remember? Cormani's right? You smack the Gators around because they're SEC. Pick weakest. It's a little bit tricky though, because let's say you see them at their worst this year, and then you're like, ooh, we won that one. And then you end up picking that one, and you don't realize that they are beasting in recruiting, and then they catch you catch them on the wrong year. You catch them at the wrong time, and they give you 60 in the first quarter. Wait, is that possible? 60 in the first half. 60 in the first quarter. My goodness. That means you don't get the ball back. They'll score and keep the ball. Oh, man. I don't know anything about football, guys. I'm just fooling y'all, okay? I mistake my way into this field. Somebody said, hey, man, you don't know anything about this game. Stop doing what you're doing. Just give us news. I'm like, thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here we go. What more better said what? Oh my goodness. Tim Smith, what up, man? Dallas is in the building. Tim, what up? The Texas Truth is in the building again. John Shaft. Hey, John Shaft, aren't you a Colorado? Are you a Colorado fan? There's somebody I don't see around here. Where's Mike, the Nebraska guy? Where is Mike? White boy Mike, where you at, Mike? I haven't seen. Hey, Shirley Kimball, what up, Shirley? Phil So Real's in the chat. Ron Tate, what up with you? I have not seen white boy Mike. Hey, Surf, what's up with you? Surfer Boy 3000, what up with you, man? Hey, man, I'm still waiting for you to come on this panel one day, okay? Stop playing with me. But I ain't seen white boy Mike, because he was a strong Deion Sanders, you know. He's not a hater, but he was like a, you know, one of those people that have, you know, strong opinions, I must say. I ain't seen him around. I have not seen the people that were saying that Coach Prime is not even a coach. Like, he's the worst coach. I have not seen those people around. I'm trying to take inventory now to make sure that we understand. Anyways, you know what? Let's get on with the show. Join TLP Live on your screen, guys. Let's look above my head right there. It says, right where you see, right above Believe, BELIEVE, where it says to believe, you'll see join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to use to call in. And you call in, I send you the link. You come on to the show, and we talk Buffs, okay? That's how we do it. So I'm going to keep the email open. I'm a one-man band so far. I don't have an intern yet or somebody that I'm going to hire once this channel gets so much bigger, right? Because That's the dream, is to get this channel to be so big that, you know what I'm saying, we got staff. I don't see, yeah, man, the Texas Truth. I don't see those people no more. I don't see a lot of those people that was just like, man, they were leaning into us, man. It was just like, oh yeah. I don't see them no more. Like they disappeared. They're gone now. I don't know. Nah, we don't want to be like sore winners. Is that a thing, to be a sore winner? We're not gonna be like them. They're not like us, right? We're not gonna be like them. But if you think that we're gonna win and just be quiet and be like, what's the word? What's the terminology? Dignified winners? Heck no. What? Y'all gonna get this work. I'm waiting for you to come so I can say, nanny boo. Anyways, join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email that you're gonna call in. I got the emails thing right here, waiting for you to call in. And let's go. Okay, let's go. I'm taking this off the screen. So write down the email, join TLPlive@gmail.com. And for those of you who are generous, I got my Cash app right at the bottom. Okay. $ TLP Sports Club. Okay. I got some bad information at the bottom there. I haven't changed this thing yet. Okay. It says Monday, 7 p.m. No, we don't do the Monday show anymore because of Monday Night Football. I ain't trying to run into no issues with trying to compete with those of you who are actually, NFL fans for your Monday Night Football. I don't want to be talking to myself like I do on my other channel. My other channel is struggling. I got 2,000 subscribers. I got the requirement for the subscribers, but I ain't got the hours yet. So I need the hours, okay? Don't make me struggle. So here we go. Shout out to Phil So Real, DC Carson, for this information. I forgot, hey guys, I don't know which one of y'all sent this, so forgive me. One of those guys sent this. So here we go. Big 12 standings explained. Updated 2024 tiebreakers for BYU, Colorado, and more. All right, so here we go. Will second-year coach Deion Sanders lead Colorado to the Big 12 championship game? That is the leading question in an exciting race that will continue to develop in the last 3 weeks of the season. Harry B, don't eat right before you do the show, because then you start burping and stuff. Okay? But I had Liberian spinach. Man, it was good. The Buffaloes are one of 5 teams in the hunt to compete for the Big 12 championship game on December 7th at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Colorado is now tied for the lead in the conference standings. BYU lost 17-13 to Kansas to fall to 9-1 and 6-1 in the conference. 2 teams with 2 losses in conference play, Iowa State and Arizona State, will have a chance. The Cyclones beat Cincinnati 34-17. The Sun Devils beat Kansas State 24-14. Here is a look at where those contenders are in the standings. The respective paths to the Big 12 championship and the tiebreaker rules should 2 teams or 3 or more teams tie in the conference standings at the end of the regular season. All right, so here we go. The Big 12 has 4 teams with 2 losses or less in conference play with 2 weeks left in the regular season. There is a look. Here's a look at those teams. You got BYU right there on your screen, guys. We're bringing it all the way down for you tonight. I was going to do this in a regular video, but I was like, no, we can do this live, okay? Because I know some channels that they do all that breakdown stuff, and y'all hang in there. So hang in there with me, okay? Come on now. I'll put in some work. And hit that like button. Let's get more people watching. BYU is 6-1, 9-1 overall. Colorado 6-1, 8-2 overall. Arizona State 5-2, 8-2 overall. Iowa State 5-2, 8-2 overall. Arizona State's coach is Kenny Dillingham. When he came in with Coach Prime, it was him, Matt Rule. Kenny Dillingham was, I believe, he was being tapped to coordinate for Coach Prime. However, he got tapped to be the head coach over there at Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham is a really good, he's a good coach. We did whoop up on him last year, but He's built his culture over there in the desert, Arizona State. By the way, if you do online schooling, for those of you who are in the third world that don't understand Arizona State, anyways, forget about that. I was going somewhere with that, but I didn't go far enough. Anyways, so Coach Prime's alums or Coach Prime's frat brothers. What happened to my screen here? What's going on? Something happened. Okay. Computer is computing. Coach Prime's frat brothers, or I don't know how you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? His fraternity guys, the guys that he came into the Power 4 team with. Matt Rule at Nebraska, Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, and now Coach Prime. So y'all remember when I had this graphics? Let me see if I still have that graphic. I probably don't have it. Oh, yeah. Do y'all remember this graphic? Let me tell y'all this. Remember Joe Class post-spring top 25, right? Remember I was making an argument about Nebraska being at number 22? Y'all remember the conversations that we were having? Do anybody over here remember that? I kept saying, I was trying to make my argument that Nebraska should not be there. Now, the argument was Nebraska is, their defense, they got their top 10. They got their number 18th in the country and yada, 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 yada. Nebraska's fighting to just make a bowl game this year. Okay. And I think it was like, oh, Nebraska's really good this year, X, Y, and Z. Nebraska, by the time, Nebraska could be 9-3 before this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot. And I made my argument at the time, it wasn't really landing. But look at what Nebraska is right now. Nebraska can barely make a bowl game. All right? They're getting beat by everybody on their schedule. Apparently, Dylan Raiola is not that nice, right? All the comparisons, you know what I'm saying? We've been sleepwalking this whole first quarter. Every first quarter this season, Colorado has been sleepwalking. Nebraska caught us in the first half. You feel me? The first half of the game, they caught us. And unfortunately, our defense was able to shut them down in the second half. But the damage had already been done. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's over. And apparently it's not. So you know what's happening right now. All right, so here we go. Let's break this thing down. Who wrote this? Let me make sure I give credit to the writer. This is by Bill. This is by Bill Bender. All right, for those of you who like to go read this argument, this article, not the argument. This is sportingnews.com by Bill Bender. Okay, let's go. So those are the 4 teams that have two. Those are the 4 top teams right now. So here it goes. The Big 12 will use these tiebreakers for the 2024 season in this order until the tie is broken. Step number 1. All right. Head-to-head competition among the teams. Number 2, win percentage against all common conference opponents among the tied teams. So if Colorado played K-State comes up and they, at the last minute, they're tied with Colorado. If Colorado, for whatever reason, loses another one, then we will fall into that bracket, that 2-loss bracket. So now then it's going to come to this tiebreaker. So Colorado, I'm sending you a message right now, my guys. Please do not come sleep in the first quarter, guys, or the first half of that. Kansas is not the team you want to be sleepwalking on. Devin McNeil is the real deal. I'm here to send a message. Devin McNeil is the real deal, guys. He ain't playing no games. Okay? Remember what is it about the Kansas, right? All right, Dorothy and Toto. Okay? Is it Tito or Toto? What is it about Kansas that they got these good running backs? We play K-State. We have one of the best running backs. We went against him, and he torched us. Now we about to play Kansas this weekend, and we about to face Devin McNeil. The boy's good. The boy can play, okay? I think it was Tim Smith from Dallas, and he told us, he was like, yeah, they got a running back just like the other guy that we played. And I said, oh, it's Toto. I thought it was Tito. Something confused me. I thought Michael Jackson, Tito, Toto, whatever. But we're not in Kansas anymore, okay? We're not even playing at their home field. So it's going to be like a neutral field that we're playing on. But yeah, man. So when Tim, are you out there tonight? Are you watching? Tim was right. Because I took my time at 10 o'clock and I watched the entire game. I think I took a break every now and then to play some chess, but still on my phone. But still, okay? I watched the entire game. And I said, oh, my goodness. I was right once again when I told them I don't like what Kansas is doing to teams right now. Y'all remember when they hung 45 on Iowa State? I think it was Iowa State, right? I said, guys, can I get a timeout? Hello? Can I get a timeout, please? I don't like Kansas right now. They are playing like the team that was preseason ranked. Okay? They were ranked top 5. It was either top 5 or top 10 in the top 5 to win the conference. And they didn't play like it. Whatever happened, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But the thing is, it was a bunch of games that they were playing that were only one score. Does that ring a bell to anybody? They played 5 games that was one score. And it just ended up on the losing side of that. Does that ring a bell to anyone? Y'all remember a team, that the Bisons? No, the Buffaloes. Oh, yeah, the Colorado Buffaloes last year played 8 games with one score. 8 games were decided by one score. If the ball bounces this way or it bounces that way, Colorado comes away. And last year did not happen. Last year, and we win like 8 or 9 games. And Coach Prime would have been a hero. Like, it would have been up out of here. But the ball didn't bounce our way. So we lost a lot of games by one score, like 8 games. I did a video on that. 8 games Colorado played, lost by one score. Okay? So yeah, that same thing was happening to Kansas, where there were 5 games where they lost by one score. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and Kansas is like, yeah, we're done with that. And they just happen to be playing their best football right when they get Colorado. They've beaten 2 ranked teams, and now they want to make us the 3rd. We're food. Colorado is food. Buffalo wings. We are Buffalo wings. I don't know what your favorite is. You like the pineapple or you like the Mediterranean? I forget the different flavors. My family usually picks the flavors. I just like it to be the hottest. Whatever the hottest is, give me the hottest ones, okay? And then they always end up eating my hottest wings. Like I said, y'all get your little pineapple stuff. Y'all get sweet wings. What the heck is sweet? Anyways. Okay. But Colorado is like food to Kansas right now. They must win out. If they win out, they get to a bowl game. And they make their coach an honest coach. Lord, please. I hope he's not a Christian, because 2 Christians pray asking for the same thing. Who gets it? Some things come by prayer and fast only. All right. Buffalo. That test is true, said you don't believe. Yo, you've been accusing me of the same thing the whole season, bro. Give me a break. Why can't I just do a show where you understand that I'm doing a show? And I have to stay neutral. I have to give football analysis. Come on, the text is true. You've been around here for a minute, man. So Tim Smith said Kansas is lemon pepper comes out. Okay, Tim. Okay, you're doing the fill right now. You trying to talk me off the limb. I'm gonna get into the whole Colorado versus Kansas thing, and I'll give you the pluses and the minuses because I happen to scout them, the actual play, and I got a few information to give you. So hold on tight for that because you might want to stay tuned for that one. Okay, I got some scouting information, so you'll be fine. Just hold on. But I got to give you this information. All right. So remember the first two. All right. Number one is the head-to-head competition among the teams. All right. Head-to-head competition. I don't know why my screen keeps snapping back and forth. And then the win percentage against all common conference opponents among the tied teams. Win percentage against the next highest placed common opponent in the standings. This is based on the record in all games played within the conference, proceeding through the standings. Number 4, combined win percentage in conference games of conference opponents, or the strength of conference schedule. That's basically your strength of your schedule. All right. Number 5, if it has to come down to this, total number of wins in a 12-game season. That one should be obvious, right? The highest ranking by Sports Source Analytics team rating score metrics follow the latest weekend of regular season games, following the last weekend of the regular season. Okay, guys, I told you I go to public school. My Prince George's County Public Schools education. Somebody said, stop shaming the teachers in the PG County public schools. I'm just saying, like, I mean, okay. Anyway, I'm not the smartest guy. It's okay. Number 7, coin toss. Like, I don't know what this is about. Can you imagine going through your whole season playing? Okay, going through your whole season, preparing your men, doing all of those Deion Sanders speeches about, hey, what is today, and asking the players, and then it's gonna come down to somebody gonna have to flick their fingers to say that's your fate. Let me tell you something, young men, Buffalo Bills. Okay, listen. If you want to allow yourself, because I know y'all watching, if you want to allow yourself for your fate to come down to somebody just flicking their fingers, all right, their middle finger and their thumb, because that's how you flip a coin. Somebody want to flip their middle finger and their thumb to decide your fate instead of you just just playing the football that you play and then winning, so you don't have to deal with none of those flipping of the middle finger and the thumb. Listen to me. I don't know what you guys do over there in the altitude. For some odd reason, you don't understand that the first quarter counts. The first throw counts. Shador has thrown two games this year. He just says, here's the ball. I know I got y'all anyways. I'm going to beat y'all, so take it first. You go score. That means he threw 2 interceptions. First play of the season. Very first play. He says, boom, here, I don't care. Do not sleepwalk with Kansas. They are not the team to do that with. These guys look at you as food. They smell blood. They have to win out. They're motivated. They're coming to play. They've had a terrible season, and this is their game to play spoiler, but not just to play spoiler, because they know we are the next best thing. All right? After they get rid of Colorado, there's nobody left for them. That's it. If they beat Colorado, they're going to win out and go to a bowl game. We want to play spoiler as they are playing spoiler for us, okay? We're going to stop them from making a bowl game. They're not going to win out. We got to win out. Now, yes, we want to be greedy because, we want to make sure that we are we go to the furthest, okay? And it has better implications for us. Going to the college football playoffs is more of an indication. It doesn't have to be Colorado, but still. Okay. Big 12 contenders path to the championship game. BYU 9-1, 6-1. It may be them, but they've been declining. I don't know if you don't remember the decline, like when it started. Utah literally beat them in the Holy War. Utah says, you out of here. Okay? But what happened? At the end, they had 2 penalties back to back. And what happened? They lost that game. I'm sure Brett Yomar said, hey, referees, if that game is close and it comes down to a field goal, make sure you get the same penalties. But for some odd reason, I'll tell you this story, then I'll go to the rest. I don't know what BYU was thinking. It's 1 minute, 30-some seconds to go. BYU has the ball. They get to the end. They get to the red zone. And they do this weird thing. Like they're trying to wear down the clock. Like overly confident. They're like, oh, we already know we won this game. So let's just take our time now. Okay, you know, in that part of the end, the part of the red zone where you can still get a first down before it's goal, right? Like first and goal, then you just got to score now. They get there. Hey, in that space, this is why I like Colorado, and I hate for the same reason. Colorado is not going to run the ball, okay? Colorado is not going to run the ball, okay? We're going to throw the ball, all right? Guess what BYU does? BYU's like, we good. We got this. Let's run down the clock. Let's burn the clock. Let's make sure we kill all of their timeouts, and we're going to burn the clock. They're not thinking we got to score. Their defense is playing pretty well. So what do? They burn the clock, kill all their timeouts. And they still they got 2 more plays to at least get a first down. 5 yards to go, just get a first down. They can't. The quarterback, I forget his name, forgive me. Okay, guys, I told you, I'm still working on this. The quarterback says he kills the play. Whatever play that they call, he kills it at the scrimmage line. When he kills the play, he goes for a screen pass. Kansas is like, oh, we saw that. We already know what this is. So they stopped them. Stopped it right there. Now it's 4th down to go. 4th down. They can get a first down and continue going with 1 minute left. Get a first down, right? Or score. 2 passes, the game would have been over. Because your defense is at least decent enough to stop them from doing whatever. They go for it, and now they finally decide to throw the ball. Okay? They finally decide to throw the ball. The daggone quarterback throws the ball inside of the yellow line. Inside of the yellow line. And the dude gets tackled, game over. It's 4th down. 4th down. You got to make that first down. Yeah, I get it. He can catch the ball and run, but come on, my guy. I said, wait, when the game was over, I'm standing there. You know how the game is over and you're still like lost? You're dumbfounded. You're like, what just happened? What was that? What kind of play calling was that? That's why I say I love Colorado, because Colorado would have punched that ball in, would have scored in like the first 2 seconds and not and worried about the rest. Okay, we're passing 2 times, game is over. Okay, Colorado Shador's passing to Travis Hunter, all right, or our new guy, all right, the freshmen or somebody. Is Jimmy Horn playing this week? Anyways, so that's what happened. Let's bring Phil in. Phil can help me with this. Phil, so real, how you doing, brother? How you doing today? Thank you,
man,
brother.
I'm doing well, man. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I think I'm good. I got a nap in and and all of that good stuff. So I'm a little bit up and I gotta go to sleep soon. So
I got you, man. I've been up since 3:30, so I get it.
Dude, my days start at like 4 a.m. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So these night shows are costly, because I'm getting a little older now. So, but anyways, am I doing good so far with this information? I'm trying my best here.
Yeah. So far, so good, man. I think. Have you actually pulled up the rankings yet?
I haven't, but if you send me that link, I'll pull it up as soon as I'm done with this. So,
all right, man. Or do you want just a picture, or do you want like a write up?
Let me get both. If you can
Bet.
get me both,
I got
then
you.
yeah, then I'll put up the picture and then we can do the write up because I need the write up too. Just to make sure I explain this stuff. All right, so Colorado's the next one. Colorado is 8-2, 6-1. Remaining schedule is Kansas and Oklahoma State. Kansas is a better team. Oklahoma State is defunct. I feel like, they're a wounded dog, so they might play well, but they're kind of like out of it. All right, so what a 3-week stretch this could be for Colorado. The Buffalo started with a convincing 49-24 victory against Utah. The Kansas game is at Arrowhead Stadium, and the Cowboys will be in spoiler mode in the finale. Colorado controls its own destiny in the race with 2 more victories. Arizona State. This is the streaking Arizona State. Coach Prime's, I don't know if you want to call it frat brother or whatever, right? 8-2, 5-2. Hey Phil, would it be frat brothers? Is that a right term? Good term for them? They came in together.
Um, I, I, you can say
They're
that.
kind of like in the
I mean,
same coaching fraternity as like new
yeah, just
heads.
because they came in the same year, so
Yeah, they're frat brothers.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can say that.
yeah. Okay, so I'm doing good. All right, so Arizona's remaining schedule, they're going to be at BYU at Arizona as well. All right, so what a turnaround for a second-year coach, Kenny Dillingham. The Sun Devils beat Kansas State on the road. And Sam, hey, let me just say this. I feel like it's unfair I feel like Colorado catches K-State right now. It's good that they lost. It's good that Colorado lost to Nebraska and K-State. For some odd reason, I feel like they're not at where they're at without those losses. Because something sparks in you when you get so close, and then it's just taken away, and you're left like, wait, what just happened? So, but I feel like Colorado still would be the better team if Colorado was to meet K-State. Let's just say, like somewhere down the road. Even Nebraska. I don't even know where Nebraska is right now. Ain't nobody talking about Nebraska right now. But preseason, boy, they were the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, they fell out the mouth.
Bruh,
It
you remember the
happens.
conversation when I pulled up that Joe Klatt thing and we was talking about the different remember that?
Hmm.
It was it was like, yo, you couldn't convince anybody. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't convince this thing right here.
Yeah, when they were at 21 or 22, I think.
They're at 22, and I'm like, I can make an argument for Colorado to be there. But again, it's what have you done for me lately? It ain't just tell me what you've done. And when you're looking at numbers only, I get it.
But
I get it.
but I think it's fair to say that a lot of people were wrong this year. But it kind of made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like with the transfer portal, with teams having more guys that are more seasoned,
Mm-hmm.
more veteran guys, you expect to see a lot better play on the field, and you have coaches that have seemed to figure out this quote unquote free agency and getting these guys to jail within 6 to 8 months. So I think next year you'll probably see some people course correct, but I think you'll also see some people maybe overcorrect, and I think maybe some of those teams that are now at the top of a conference could end up being at the bottom. So who knows at this point?
So, okay, let me ask you a question before we continue. Would you say that you've come around to the transfer portal idea?
I never. So here's the thing: I never had an issue with the transfer portal. I didn't like how it was regulated. I didn't think that the transfer portal is the end all be all for a program. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's clear that you can jumpstart a program. Look at Colorado, look at Indiana, look at Florida State last year. Obviously, this year you have the reverse of the coin. You know what I'm saying? Because it's two sides of the same coin, where it could be something really good and something really bad. Um, so it's just a matter of seeing how coaches kind of figure that out. But I do think, especially if you want to be a team with longevity, you're going to find a way to get those high school guys and keep a core, 45% of those guys in the program, for their 4 years of college, learning your system, learning your culture, and being able to bring those guys in when you do bring in people from the transfer portal to teach them the Harry B way, when they come in and play for you.
But I mean, but there's a way to still do that with heavy trans. There's a way to still do the old school and mix it in with a lot of new school, and I think that's what Coach Prime is doing here at Colorado. Is to say, all right, look, the percentage that we're bringing in, we're going to try to make sure we make you we help you to eat, so that way that you're not feeling some kind of you're not feeling some kind of way, but
Right.
we need guys to play now because for us to compete, we can't wait like we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like we cannot wait as long to developing guys while other guys are just killing us. We got to get some guys that can play now. But with that, let's bring on Tim Smith. Tim Smith, Dallas is in the building. What up, Tim? Guy, well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother. How you doing?
Yo, what up with it, Phil? What up with
What's
it,
going on,
Harry
Tim?
B?
All is well, man.
Yeah.
All is well. I'm doing this night show tonight. Don't get used to this. Hopefully, you don't have to get used to this. But right now, it is what it is.
It's
Yeah,
all
man.
good.
So let's finish this information. Then we'll talk more Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Let's bring on DC. DC Carson Music. What up with you, DC? How you doing, man? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Man, it's great to be here, brothers. Hope all is well with everybody on the panel.
All is well. All is well, man. All right. So, hey, the stuff that you sent me, Phil. I'm trying to send it to my computer, but it's not giving me. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe I'll send it to my like that little arrow you get on the thing for you to send it. It's not giving me the arrow. But anyways, I'll figure this out in a second. All right, so the tiebreaker rules, guys. So as far as all the tiebreakers are concerned, okay. So let me ask y'all, since y'all are here already, um, do y'all think BYU is going down? Like they've been spiraling downward. Do they keep their BYU way and then and go in with Colorado, or do y'all think even Colorado may not even make it? Let me get
Mm,
some thoughts on that.
I if you want me to go first, I'll
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
my
go ahead,
two
go
cents
ahead.
in. Um, BYU, it's a reset. Um, for them,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them losing to Arizona State coming this Saturday. I feel like they're gonna walk in there. They lost at home
Mm-hmm.
against a team apparently that's one of the lower ranked teams in the conference. So BYU is going to come in with a vengeance to really not uh they're going to take all their frustration out on Arizona State. So I feel like, and I don't even know if Scatterboo is playing. I know he was hurt,
He
but
was hurt last time.
yeah, he was hurt. So uh if Scatterboo is back, if he's not at 100%, then man, BYU, I feel like BYU is going they're going to give Arizona State a lot of trouble, man. And Colorado Colorado is peaking at the right time. The only concern, but it's not really a concern,
Mm-hmm.
but it still raises an eyebrow. I'm glad that it happened now.
Okay.
Is with remember I kind of been hitting on, man, what's up with Shador? His game seemed off. It doesn't seem like he's the same Shador that we were seeing against Cincinnati and some of those other games. And he was like, hey, in the press conference he was talking about, hey, I got to apologize to my O line and to the team for the way that I played. And I'm glad that it happened now. Now going into this Kansas game, I feel like he's gonna light up the scoreboard.
How do you guys feel, Phil and DC?
Well, I mean, I think as far as like the tiebreaker situation, that just goes to show how important it is to win as many games as you possibly can. Every game matters, and you look at had it, you look at two different situations. Had Colorado ended up losing that Baylor game, how different things would be right now. And then if Colorado had won the Kansas State game, how different things would be right now. Um, so I think the beautiful thing about Saturday is Kansas has something to play for. Colorado has something to play for, and I think both teams are going to be putting forth their best effort. But I think Colorado is going to be able to win out. I am interested in seeing what happens with Arizona State because they are peaking at the right time as well. And even though Scatterboo is not 100%, they've still been able to have success with him not being at his best. So I think that goes to show how well the team itself is playing with their best man down.
All right, DC, what's your thoughts?
I think Arizona beats BYU. Arizona State beats BYU. They're peaking. BYU, I think, is kind of just not doesn't seem as much life with its team as it normally is. Not, I think it'll still be a good game. Um, as far as Colorado, I will tell you, Colorado is is peaking and they are doing good things, but you are going up against a team that is peaking. I looked out there at the line and it surprised me that Colorado is just a 2.5 point favorite. I know folks will say that line doesn't mean anything and all that kind of stuff, but Harry has been sitting there saying if you're watching the game, Kansas is capable. I will be honest with you. This Tuesday, this is Tuesday, right? Tuesday night at 7:01, I probably will be leaning towards Kansas, but I definitely could see.
You mean
what
next
Colorado
Tuesday? Because
will.
it's 8:01 right now.
Well, where I am is 7:01.
He's in Bama.
Yes.
Hey, but
Okay.
DC, did you notice that the line actually moved from 3.5 to 2.5?
Yes, it did. I've been
So
watching that.
yeah. So people were. It started off a little bit higher on Colorado. Now that the line has moved, that means people are being more bullish on Kansas.
Right, and again, it's picking, it's splitting thing. I'm more so even picking this now because everybody's gonna pick Colorado. Somebody's got to pick Kansas. I'll be the one to pick it.
You
But
you you wanted to pick Kansas all along,
no,
DC.
no,
So
actually,
hey, but look, don't go hiding in the lost and found after the outcome is
hey,
different this time.
Tim, I'm gonna tell you right now. I done picked a bunch of games. Didn't nobody say nothing into that UCF game. So at the end of the day, is I'm used to it. We all, if you think about it, we're guessing. But
Right.
I still think that Kansas State, they're on a roll. I mean, I'm gonna go with a hot hand. It's not that I don't believe Colorado
But
could
the hot
win,
hand is Colorado. What are you talking about?
but
The hot hand would be Colorado.
a hot
I,
hand will be Kansas too.
hey, Friday show, I told Harry, I said BYU's gonna beat. I mean Kansas is gonna beat by BYU, and I said he was like, "Nah, we don't want that," and I was like, "Yes, we want that. This is the reason why, because we want BYU to lose to Kansas. That's gonna make it even better when we play Kansas and we beat Kansas."
So who would you want Colorado to play right now in that championship? Who is the team that we
I,
feel like
I would like to
You
see
want BYU?
Arizona State. Honestly, I
No,
would like to see a
you
rematch.
I don't think we want Arizona State,
you
my guy.
want them to beat a team. You want them to beat the highest ranked team in the Big
Yeah,
12. And right
exactly.
now, you would want BYU to continue winning out because right now they're ahead of you. So at the
Right.
very least, you could, switch positions. Once y'all beat them in the conference championship game. So
Right, but
that's
check
just
this
something to
out,
think
Tim.
about as well.
Right, but check this out, Tim. Before the
Uh-huh.
show ended, right before the show ended, I did say Kansas will beat BYU. You know, your crickets. But whenever I'm wrong, gonna see you folks come out. But it's all good. I understand how it is.
Oh
But at the
no,
end
no,
of the
no, no, no,
day,
no.
so at the end of the day is because we are talking football. But again, Kansas, Colorado could definitely come out there and just dominate Kansas. and I would not be surprised if that happened. But
Right, Oregon dominated.
I don't.
Hey,
You know,
what
I don't
color you
think
think
Kansas.
What color you think Shantae's pom poms are?
Oh, they black and gold all the way, man. I mean, it ain't even no question. But I would say that I think if Kansas win, it'll be a close game. If Colorado wins, it'll be a blowout. I'm being honest with you. I'm only picking Kansas right now because everybody else is picking Colorado.
Why do you want to go against the grain? Just because that's how you're wired? Why are you doing that?
I just feel like it.
He like rooting for the underdog.
It's Tuesday. Yeah,
Playing.
it's Tuesday. I might change my mind Friday, but right now I'm going to be different. I'm going the opposite the direction and saying Kansas win. But I will be honest with you, I don't want Kansas to win. I'd like to see Colorado in the big. I put it like this: I would love to see Colorado make it to the Big 12, play BYU win, and then go and have to play Oregon. I'd love to see that.
Hey, they got their own little fuzzy story going too now. You know
that means that they would have to get past Ohio State, DC.
Oh, I would love to see that exactly.
But no,
love
Tim. But no, but technically, if Ohio State were to beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, Oregon probably would end up going into that 5 slot.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we also have to think about the fact that there is a universe where
Oregon should be left out.
The Big 12 champion could be left out if is it Army? If Army continues to win out and Army ends up being ranked ahead of Colorado, it's only the top 5 conference champions that get to go in. And if Army is ranked ahead of them, then Colorado could get left out, or BYU or Arizona State could get left out of the playoffs altogether.
I can't see that though. You leaving prime?
Yeah. I will have my video ready to go.
Man, all I'm saying is there is a scenario. I don't think that would happen because I do think at the end of the day it is a business. But there's a world where it could happen.
But like listen, this, you don't want to be in that situation. That's why you need BYU to win out, and that's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying. Because I know folks are saying prime. I got it, but this is not HBCU swag football, and you do not want to sit there and give them folks that they got to choose between Colorado and the Service Academy. You don't want that. Not with this the way the championship football is coming in. Again, this is not DC. I want this to happen. This is you do not want to be there when they have to make that choice.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want that to come down to that. Like I said earlier in the opening, don't leave yourself up for a coin flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want that. But again, Kansas is not a team that you're just going to walk up in there and be like, oh, yeah, you guys should understand, right? Coach Prime, he's a black coach, and he's got the gold chain, the necklace. Come on, guys. You understand, right? Like,
I don't support that kind of
ain't nobody – I'm just saying, like, you know, how we say, like, he's the black coach, he represents the culture and everything. So y'all should understand, if he wins, then black coaches can get opportunity. This ain't no team – trying to give Colorado their Cinderella story. Okay? All right? Send Travis Hunter to New York or bring Travis Hunter over here to New York. No team is going to lay down for this team. Okay? So you got to handle your business. That's basically what I'm saying.
Are you able to pull up the standings with the in the Big 12?
Oh yeah, I got the Big 12 standings. All right, so
it should be BYU, Colorado, Arizona State, Iowa State, I believe.
Yeah.
Now Arizona State has what, 2 losses in the conference?
Yeah, they have 2 losses in the conference.
Okay, so if they lose to BYU, and
they're basically done.
They done. So that means if hold on, if BYU beats Arizona State,
you want to go back? You want to go back to the explanation? Let's go back to.
You good right there?
No. We had something better. We got something better. We got the explanation. That's what we were doing earlier, right?
Well, I was just gonna say that if BYU beat Arizona, right, and um, if BYU beats Arizona on Saturday, that'll give them 3 in the conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And but you is it Utah? Do Utah play Iowa State? Uh,
Harry got to put a Harry scroll down. It's going to tell you who each team's play next. Keep going down. All right, remain. Hold on. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up to BYU. It tells you their remaining schedule. Keep
Okay.
going up till you see
Okay. So
BYU.
BYU. All right. So here it is. BYU is tied with
yeah,
Colorado for first place, and the Buffaloes will likely be favored. So the trip to Arizona is tricky, knowing the Cougars haven't played in Tempe since 1997.
right.
All right.
So
So
I don't mean to interrupt you. If BYU beat Arizona State, they're done.
right.
If we're gonna have to be rooting for any team. Well, pretty much. I think Utah plays uh Ari- not
It's on the
Arizona.
screen,
Utah
Tim. It's
play
Arizona.
Iowa State. Utah play Iowa State this coming up Saturday, right?
It doesn't really matter because they're not even in
Okay.
the picture.
Well,
But
no. What I'm
if you
saying
look at
is,
Iowa
if
State
you,
schedule, it'll show it.
but
Iowa State is Iowa State is top four.
right. But what I'm saying is, if Utah beat Iowa State, well, we know that's anything can happen. If Utah beat Iowa State this week and Arizona lose to BYU, it's a wrap. BYU and Colorado after this week would play for the Big 12 championship.
Is there a clinching situation? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
Harry, if you scroll down, it's at the end of
yes,
the
it's a clinch. It's
article, I believe.
they're in. If BYU
You said
wins,
scroll down, Phil.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. Yeah, if you just keep scrolling down to the bottom of the article, it will tell you like basically like the likely scenario. So scroll up just a little bit.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
there
talking
you
about
go. The most likely Big 12 championship game scenario. So it's just telling you how everything else will break down.
all right, so let me go ahead and read this out. The Arizona State scenario is getting interesting. Let's say Arizona State wins out and Kansas upsets Colorado in week 13. The Cyclones knock off Kansas State, and suddenly there would be a four-way tie among BYU, Colorado, Arizona State, and Iowa State at 7-2. The only head-to-head game between any of those teams is BYU versus Arizona State. It would trickle down to the winning percentage against common opponents. Those four teams played UCF, Kansas, and Kansas State, and Utah. Arizona State is 4-0 against those teams. BYU is 3-1, and Iowa State would be 3-1 with a sweep. Colorado would be 2-2 and out of the mix. The next step would be the combined conference winning percentage of BYU and Iowa State's conference opponents. Right now, those favor that favors Iowa State 28-20, 28-35 over BYU. That makes sense, right? Everybody gets that? Understands that?
I get it.
So
So
just win.
basically, if it's a four-way tie, no, but even if Colorado wins out, but excuse me, but other things happen with other teams and it's a four-way tie, what that just told you is that it's going to be Arizona State versus Iowa State. And Colorado would not make the Big 12 championship game.
You said if Colorado wins out,
Yes, Harry, it told you. So scroll up just a tad bit for me. All right, stop. So right where it says the Cyclones knock off Kansas State, and suddenly there will be a four-way tie among BYU, Colorado, Arizona State, and Iowa State. And then it breaks down the head-to-head. So it's saying of those four teams, the only head-to-head they have is BYU versus Arizona State. And then it talks about how it would trickle down. And since Arizona State is 4-0 against the common opponents, BYU is 3-1, Iowa State is 3-1.
Yeah, but
Arizona State will
Colorado is not. Colorado and BYU are the only teams with only one loss. So there's no scenario where Colorado wins
I'm
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It wouldn't be Colorado winning out. It said 7-2. So that
Right.
means Colorado loses either Kansas or the Oklahoma State game. That is the only way it would be a 7-2 tie.
Exactly.
So that
right.
is like
That's
your
just
doomsday scenario.
right.
But yes,
So
but if Colorado wins out, you're good. Yes.
Colorado wins out, we're good. But
That's all that matters.
But another thing is Colorado still has hope if we lose one of those games. We
That is
still
correct.
we still have a little glimmer of hope
That is
that
correct.
the scenarios can trickle down to, oh, okay, so we can still get in. And it seems like the football gods, right, are allowing everything up. Like, yo, Colorado, we still got you. Whatever you do, like, please, either just win your game, but even if you don't win, there's still a chance that you can get in.
Yeah, but if you don't, but here's the thing. If you lose, there still is a chance you'll get in. But if all that chaos happens, I don't see a Big 12 team getting in. It's going to be,
Exactly.
let me say it this way. It's going to now make it really where you got down to that scenario where you're going to make it really difficult for a Big 12 to get into the playoffs. I mean, extremely difficult if chaos. So you don't want the chaos. What you want is to win out. BYU wins out. That simplifies everything. You start getting into all that other stuff. Because
who made the rules? Who made the rules that the champion of your conference gets in? Who made that rule?
But the point being is that you're not who you're gonna have. That if you have it to that point, your issues are also gonna come down to ranking, Harry. That's the issue. It all depends on how they rank. You can't just win the championship. It also depends on ranking.
Right. And so, Harry, the college football championship people, whomever, the media partners, they came up with that rule. But as DC is saying, it comes down to the ranking. So if for whatever reason you have, well, not for whatever reason, obviously you're going to have, your SEC champion, that's one, ACC champion, that's two, Big Ten, that's three. Then it looks like BYU is going to be one of the higher ranked group of five champions with the Mountain West. And then you have
BYU is what do you
I'm
mean
sorry.
group of five?
I'm sorry. Boise State. Boise State would be the Mountain West champion. So that would be the fourth conference. And then you have Army, which is in, I believe, the American Conference. And then for whatever reason, because of all that chaos, they are ahead of the Big 12 team. The Big 12 conference champion would be out. So let's say,
hold on, Phil.
So real quick.
If
just
Army,
a quick example.
what is Army rank in the AP poll?
It doesn't matter about the AP poll. It's about
it does.
No, listen to him. It boils down to the playoff rankings when we're talking about getting into the playoffs. So don't even think about the AP anymore. The only thing that matters for the playoffs is the college football playoff rankings. So Harry, the link that I sent you should have that.
Army is 19.
Right. Okay, so Army is 19.
You talking about this one right here?
They need to leave out Indiana then.
Yeah. But Tim, it doesn't matter. We're talking about conference champions.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we win the Big 12 championship, what is BYU rank?
Isn't BYU number 12?
Wait, I think we're missing the context real quick, Tim. We were talking about doomsday scenario if it's a bunch of chaos in the Big 12. And so that means Army will end up moving up. So it could even be a situation where Army is simply ranked number 13, but the Big 12 champion is ranked number 14. So because they're the fifth conference champion, they would get in ahead of them. That's what we were talking about.
Okay.
Right,
I thought you were talking about if they went out.
Right, and you got to get a perception. You got to look at perception. Like, for example, Ole Miss is 8-2. Colorado is 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to sit here and so should Colorado be number 9 and Ole Miss be 18? Or 16. You see how that you can't. And again, this is not DC saying this is what I want. This is like having seen a whole lot of understand. I was around when it was basically the AP poll, and sometimes you had split national championships. So what you're looking at is right now, if you are paying attention, the committee nor the coaches poll are very high on the Big 12 at all. And you don't want to get into there and start having to start dueling with people, because if you look at it, you got to ask that question: well, if Ole Miss is 8-2, but we're 8-2, are they saying that Ole Miss is that much better of a team? I'm gonna ask y'all that.
That's
Do
literally
you
what they're
believe that?
saying.
Ole
That's
That is
Miss
what
literally
is
they're
what they're
Ole Miss
saying.
is a better team because they strength of scheduling for one is a lot stronger, and the people that they beat this season are way better. That been in the top 5.
Wait, the AP Colorado is 17, right? Or are they
They
matching the?
moved up. I think did they move up to 16?
They're 16.
Well, so what is
They
this?
moved up to 16.
Isn't
This
this
is
the
the
playoff?
No,
yes.
that's the AP.
Yes, that's the playoff.
Oh, that
This
is.
is the
Yes.
playoff.
So they're
Okay.
matching. They're matching the AP poll for Colorado.
No, they're one spot ahead than what they are in the AP poll.
But how? But there's 16 on here.
In the AP poll, they
Correct.
17. Right, Phil?
Yes.
That's what I was saying. So there's 17 on the AP.
Right, but you just said they were matching the AP, but they're not.
No,
17 and 16 are not the same numbers.
I was saying there was 17 on the AP, but there's 16 here.
Okay,
There's
yes.
16 on the college
Yes.
football playoff rankings.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what BYU dropped all the way to 14.
So 14 just for losing one game.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's the team that they lost to.
right, but
At
again, Tim, if you got the committee sitting in the room, and I said this a couple of shows ago, and I'm looking at picking Colorado or Texas A&M, which they're right there. Who do you think is gonna get the nod?
Well,
Hey.
with all the people, with all the teams, if you asking me that question, DC, with all the teams that are going to be in the playoffs out of the SEC, you don't have no choice but to leave Texas A&M out. You got Georgia, you got Alabama, you got Texas, and
Texas A&M control their own fate, though. Because if they beat Texas next week, then they're going to the conference championship game.
Right,
yeah,
because
man,
for example,
they
I
just
think that I think Colorado is better than the SMU. That's my personal opinion.
wow.
I think Colorado is just as good as Boise State. But see where they're ranked. That's the thing that we sitting here talking about, is that perception is not that I don't think they're a good team. It's to a point when they get in this room, it's going to be have conversations that you hear. So it's critical. You don't want that chaos to be there at the end. You want it to be where BYU wins, Colorado wins out, and that makes everything easy. Once it starts getting sloppy, and let's say the ACC gets sloppy, because we see Clemson is still hanging back there. Let's say Miami loses, and then SMU is sitting right there. Now you got a problem.
Right.
So hold on.
Hey,
let me
Harry,
let
can
me
I
let me
address
ask a
something?
question though. So when they're making these rules, are they not making it for the totality of the season? Because for the opportunity, for the option of it may get messy. So what is the contingency for when it gets messy? You can't just say, "Oh, you get in automatic bid if you win your conference," but if it gets messy, then we're gonna leave you out. What is
There's
that?
a
Harry,
lot of
You saw
factors
that
to
Harry,
go
last
it's
year
into
with
clear.
it.
FSU. You
Wait,
saw that last year. Go
wait,
ahead,
Harry.
Phil.
It's very clear. It's very clear. There's no need for a contingency plan. It says the top 5 conference champions. Period. So if your conference is a hot mess, that's on you. The top 5 conference champions make it in. That's it. That's the rule.
But I
Plain and
thought
simple.
I thought either I read somewhere, or maybe it was a warm and fuzzy thing where the Power 4 gets automatic bids. No.
The Power Four gets automatic bids, and then you get your group of 5. However, if the group of 5, if you have 2 group of 5s that are ranked higher than a Power 4, then the Power 4 gets bumped out. So there's only going to be slots for 5 conference champions.
So then there's
It's
not an automatic bid then, right?
No,
right.
it's
No,
not.
it's not. But the assumption is that the group of fours are always going to be ranked higher than the Power Five. I mean, I'm sorry, the Power Four are going to be ranked higher than the group of five.
Like, no, what are they considering Notre Dame? Notre Dame
Notre,
is not
Notre
even
Dame,
in a
Notre Dame
conference.
can
It's
Notre
an
Dame
independent.
can never Notre Dame can never get an automatic bye, so they will
They
never be able to be in the
independent.
top four because they can't win a conference. So the highest they can be ranked when the playoffs come out, like the final week, is number 5.
Right.
So they will never get a bye. Can I address Shantae in the chat real quick? She asked a question about how is Alabama ranked number 7 after losing to Vanderbilt.
It's oh, go ahead.
It's kind of cut and dry. Alabama has 4 wins against top 25 teams. Okay, the top 5 teams in the AP poll only have 1 win combined against top 25 teams. So I think that kind of tells you the competition they're playing against and their success rate against those teams. So
Right,
The
just
Shantae.
wanted to
So
put
go
that out
eat it.
there.
That's right, Shantae. So go eat a dry Popeye's biscuit with these questions.
Not a
With no
drop
water.
of
At the
With
end
no
of the
water.
day, Shantae,
I'm messing with you.
at the end of the day, it's
How do you make a
SEC,
papaya biscuit?
the SEC are going to get
It's a Popeye's biscuit.
Oh,
They can be real dry. So I'm
they gonna
telling her
get
to drink, eat it without any water. That's
God
torture.
dog. Wow.
so okay, so the SEC bias is in. Is it at this point? Is it a bias because
How is it
No,
an SEC
it's
bias
not a
when you got
bias.
the Big Ten? You got the Big Ten with 4 spots in the top 5.
Yeah, and not only that, look at how many teams in the SEC has held the number 1 ranking at some point in the season. That should tell you right there the type of talent that each school has in the competition level that's in the
first of
SEC.
all, when was the last time you saw to all these SEC schools when they come
It
in?
al- it
Huh?
always we're talking about these losses.
Yeah, these losses. This is crazy.
Welcome to the portal. Welcome to NIL.
This is ludicrous. This is crazy, and
It's
how
good.
complicated it is right now.
No, it ain't. It's not complicated. It's good for the sport, in my opinion. Just my personal opinion, because I'm tired of
From a
seeing.
fan's perspective, you think it's good?
Hey, listen. When you sit year in and year out in Alabama, Alabama won the championship. Alabama won the championship. Georgia won the championship. LSU won the championship. Alabama won. You get tired of that. You know what I mean?
It does
Let
make the games more exciting when you don't know what the outcome is going to be.
exactly.
Yeah, I want Georgia to lose so that we don't have to deal with them this year. And like, hello,
Man, Georgia's peaking right now.
But here's the thing. The question was asked in the chat is that how far do you think Colorado will go in the playoffs? I will tell you this. It's going to be all depend on where they seeded. If somehow they wind up not being like a automatic bid, you automatic buy conference championship, that's going to make it extremely difficult. What's up?
Hey, let's make it plain and simple. Let's just substitute BYU for Colorado and just go from there. We'll just since we're playing hypotheticals anyway, right? Let's make our own rules if it's a hypothetical. Does that make sense, Harry?
And you have to go to that. You have to go to the
BYU. Colorado plays Ohio State.
Okay, then it's over.
And we're gonna give them a spanking.
Is it in Ohio
you're not
State?
going to give Ohio State a spanking.
Yes,
no,
it will be at the
horseshoe. No, Let's not. Okay, listen.
Okay, DC, but what if we do? What if we do, DC? You're so confident. Why are you so confident, DC?
If you do,
who's their quarterback? Why are you so confident?
If you do, Will Howard's their quarterback.
Why? But why are you so confident that Colorado can't give him a spanking?
Okay, because I think all I would suggest is for Colorado fans, if you don't mind, go take a look at the size of their trenches. Look at the defense. And look at and I just want you to go see the size of their receivers. I want you to see the speed. I want you to take a look at all of that.
Yeah, they had all of that when Nebraska played them.
I didn't say that Colorado could not win by any means.
They had all of that when Nebraska played them.
ADC, Can I? Can let me throw this out there real quick. I
They're not a
heard you.
scary team, dude. Ain't none of these teams scaring me.
I heard you say the size of the trenches. Well, we're gonna see some real good size in the trenches this coming up week. Cause Kansas, they some big boys, man.
But
In the trench, and they can probably equal up to Ohio State as far as size wise.
I got a quick question though.
I'm not afraid of these teams.
Because
I know y'all are, these are world beaters. I'm not afraid of these teams for Colorado.
Harry, would you say there's a distinct difference between saying Colorado can beat Ohio State and will beat Ohio State, all that good stuff, and saying we would smack Ohio State? Would you say there is a difference?
I only said that because to piss y'all off, because y'all swear these are world beaters.
Well,
I didn't swear they was world beaters.
I'm only saying that for y'all. Not Colorado can beat Ohio. Colorado can beat this whole bracket right here. Okay.
Oh Lord!
Let me just say this. Let me just get this off real quick.
Explain to me why Colorado will beat Ohio State.
Okay.
In Columbus.
Colorado will beat Ohio State because Colorado has a dynamic offense that they would not be ready for. They don't understand. You got to play Colorado. This ain't no situation where you can just look afar and think, oh, them boys are just playing in the sorry Big 12. Nah, when you get on that field and you start realizing that Shador's arm is a laser, when you start realizing, wait a minute, Jimmy Horn is going to be healthy. Wait a minute, the whole receiving core is going to be healthy. And Shador gets to sit back there and get the ball to them. Y'all, I don't know what people think. That I feel like if you think Dylan Raiola can do good with Ohio State, then what do you think Shador's going to do with Ohio State? Like let's stop playing football. Let's stop doing this.
So
you mean the game they lost? You mean the game they lost in?
Yes. Colorado lost to Nebraska, but it's not the same Colorado team.
Hey,
that's what a lot of people were doing. That's exactly what a lot of people were doing preseason. Colorado's not going to get its break until we beat a ranked team, and then everybody's going to be like, wait a minute.
If Colorado wins that Big 12 championship, if they get that 12 seed where BYU is at, I think that they could possibly make it to the semifinals if they sneak by Ohio State.
I'll agree with that. 1,000% agree with that. But the point I'm trying to make here is it's not saying Colorado cannot. By any means, can't say that. They're doing great. I'm just sitting here saying to you is when y'all start saying smack. Now come on now.
I said smack for y'all. No. I only said smack for y'all because I knew it was going to get a reaction out of y'all.
Then make an understatement about what you think so I can address it correctly.
You just want me to just come down and just say, oh yeah, I think Colorado may be able to beat Ohio State. I think Colorado can smack Ohio State.
Hey.
Okay,
I'm trying to tell you. I think. Look. This is a real statement. Take this statement and print it. Print this statement.
Okay, gotcha.
This is what I think. I think Colorado can stun Ohio State by going up 2 touchdowns in the first half, and our defense is going to stop them. I think Colorado can stun Ohio State and make a statement. All right. And when I say smack them, print that. That Harry B at TLP Sports Club said.
Okay.
Colorado can smack Ohio State.
Okay.
What the heck?
Let me ask you this then. Let me just ask you just a real.
Hey, Surf got a question after you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes or no? Let me just do this real quick. So we already say they can smack. Let's go a little further because this thing could get jumbled. Can Ohio can Colorado smack Alabama? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Notre Dame?
No.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Georgia?
No.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Penn State?
This year, Georgia, yes.
No.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Ole Miss?
No.
Well, yes. Yes.
Can Colorado smack Indiana? Yes, I believe they can.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Texas?
Yes.
No.
Can Colorado smack Miami?
Yes.
Yes.
Can Colorado smack Oregon?
I
Toss
don't know.
up.
Okay,
Toss up.
interesting. Can Colorado smack Boise State?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Hey,
And
Surfer Boy got a good question, man.
Surfer Boy said, "What would Colorado's record be if they were in the SEC or the Big Ten?"
4-8.
They'll
Nope.
be the Vanderbilt of the SEC.
I think
It's a joke.
the thing about it is, it's like it's going to be hard to prove because obviously these are all hypothetical and we're all guessing or whatever. But the thing
This
that
ain't hypothetical for me.
I feel
It's
like
not hypothetical.
this is how I feel like Colorado can. Colorado has a really, really good offense, and the crazy thing about Colorado, they're blowing out teams, but they're not playing good football. That's why I'm like, can you imagine like what Colorado can do if we were just to like figure out like, okay, I feel like the rat poisoning is too much in Colorado. I feel like Shador be feeling himself too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like. Go ahead.
My only issue with the whole smack conversation.
I know y'all gonna get caught up on that. I know it.
But no, but okay. Here's the thing: the idea that
it's gonna hurt y'all feeling. I know it because it's Colorado. But it's gonna hurt your feelings. But I have a path. I can see a way of it happening. The way that it's happening is Colorado is really good on offense. We
But
just
Harry,
gotta
can I-
figure
okay.
out how to get going.
I'll just put it plain and simple. Whatever team you think that Colorado has played this year, whatever that defense, whatever team had the best defense, whatever team that is, when they get to the playoffs, Colorado is going to be playing against a defense that is likely 5 times, 6 times, maybe even 10 times better than the defense,
That's
defense
Nebraska.
that Colorado has seen.
But
Okay,
so I would say
wait,
that's Nebraska, but
let me
this
finish.
is. But hear me out.
I just want to finish. I don't know, give me like 3 more sentences.
Go ahead.
We saw what happened with Nebraska. I think that would be duplicated in the playoffs. That's all.
I get it.
What we're saying is that there are going to be teams here who can get to Shador.
I get it. I understand it, but hear me out. The team that Colorado was when we played Nebraska is not the same team that Colorado is right now.
Facts.
Colorado's a much different team, and we have figured out, we have figured out how to protect Shador. We figured it out. All right. I'm not saying they're not going to be able to get back there because teams are still because he's still holding the ball a whole lot, right? If you count Shador's 20 sacks this year, I think 10 of those sacks is him just holding the ball too long. So if we can figure that out, I don't know what he has to do, and then he just stop feeling himself. Then I feel like he can lock in and just play ball. Because I don't know any quarterback that's better than him.
I got a better question. Go ahead, Tim. I'm gonna hold on to it.
No. I just want to address something with the Texas Truth. Like he really shaking his pom-poms hard tonight. But like 2 players, Travis and Shador, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. In the SEC, Travis playing both ways the way that he does now, he doesn't make it the whole season. Shador holding the ball as long as he does not make it the whole season in the SEC. Them Georgia boys, them linebackers that's coming downhill, they fast. They run sideline to sideline. They quick. If y'all ain't seen
Tim,
an SEC game live,
Tim, I've seen a couple of SEC games, and there are quarterbacks.
Live.
There are quarterbacks in
live.
the SEC.
I'm
Hold on.
live,
There are quarterbacks in the SEC that are not dying every week. All right, that Shador is way better than. So if all of that talk that you're saying was true, then these Georgia boys, whoever they are, these world beaters, they would be killing every quarterback that they face. Shador is better than all of them.
You don't have the line. You don't have the offense. You have the offensive line to beat Big 12, but you do not have the offensive line.
That's fine, but they should be killing them. They're
Well, let
not
me ask you
killing
this.
these quarterbacks. It's like all these rappers that are gangsters and nobody's dying, bro. Like y'all
Watch
not
this.
that gangster.
Watch this. Watch this. Okay, you say that. At the end of the day,
They're
is
not, bro.
let me. Well, at the end of the day is you can't say that when you sit back and look at the past 15 years of championships. You can't say that. You can't say that when a Big 12 team
Bro,
like
look at
TCU
the
gets beat
daggone
65
rosters.
to 7.
Look at the daggone rankings. I mean, we're not talking about no 15 years. We're just talking about just last year.
Bro,
We
I'm
don't even
trying to
have to
sit.
go down that
I'm
far.
trying to sit
Look
here.
how messy this thing look right now.
Hey.
The point I'm trying to say is, watch this, Harry. Watch this. Tim, have you watched South Carolina play?
Yep.
Okay. Can Shador stand back and do what he is?
No.
No. I think you're
No,
getting
he
it twisted.
cannot.
I'm not telling you that Shador can continue being Shador the way that he is and survive like the best offensive or defensive lines coming at him fast. The game will actually have to change. He will have to change his game because
Yes, he would.
What you're seeing right now is like we're judging him based on the competition he's playing, but thinking like, oh, they can't make no change. Isn't that the same thing we did in last season on when we judged this team? It's as if everybody can make adjustments or changes, but Colorado is inept. Colorado has no ability to see what's coming and make adjustments.
You
Hey,
We're
did.
just going to say, oh, yeah, these boys are so big, they're so fast. There's no way that Colorado's going to survive with them. I don't believe that, man.
We never
Harry,
said it was about adjustments from a schematic standpoint. I think it's just a matter of the teams that Colorado was going to face in the playoffs are just simply better than them. Mono and mono. My question
I know
was
that.
that.
I know that. But to say that the way that Colorado, listen to me and listen to me clearly, guys. Do y'all not believe what Colorado is doing to teams and not playing their best football?
I see what they're doing to teams in the Big 12. But
yes, but they're not playing to their actual ability. Like, okay, you have so many weapons on offense, right? Your wide receivers are like, you got freshmen that are coming in and they're lights out. Think about the fact that they have not put it all together. They're sleepwalking in the first quarter, second quarter. They may wake up by the second half. Okay, now they get going. Imagine we get the fourth quarter. Maybe not the fourth quarter. Imagine we get third quarter Colorado. Imagine we get third quarter Colorado to play from the first quarter all the way through.
Right.
You don't think that Colorado can hang with Ohio State? That Nebraska was given the problem?
They could.
But look,
you're right.
Let me say this.
In that
Harry.
scenario, in that if world, yes, I agree.
Let me say
but
this.
It's not a far if. It's not a far-fetched if.
Now, look.
And that defense? What?
I want to say this.
Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. I like your passion. You saying that CU coming out slow in the first quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they
always
haven't played
every single freaking game.
Okay, and they haven't played to the potential that we know that they can possibly be, right?
And they could be 60, 70 point top team. Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, with that being said, we're close to coming up to the SEC championship, Big 12 championship, ACC, and on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you haven't played up to your ability now, you go up against a Georgia team and you don't play your best in the first quarter, the score is 20. Hold on, the score is 28-0. TCU wanted to get in that national championship bad. And who did they face? And at the time, TCU was like Oregon. They were good. They were solid. They got blown out to where it was like, man, this is boring to watch. So
I got a question for you. Do you think that TCU's defense, when they beat Michigan, do you think that defense is the same defense that Colorado got or worse?
I would say about the same.
I think Colorado's defense is better.
I mean, okay, if you even say they're better, but would you say, well, no, I would say that
I think
TCU TCU was
Colorado's
able to
defense.
run the ball too. So
Yeah, the one thing that I'll be afraid of is Colorado not being able to run the ball and then try to pass the whole time. And then once the defensive coordinator figures out, oh, they're just gonna pass, we shut down the run. It's a wrap. I get it, but if Colorado is able to establish, let's just say there's 60 yards that they get every here and there, and Shador gets a little bit of protection. Let's say we go back in front of. He's been getting 4 seconds this season. God, by God's grace, let's say he gets 2.5, right? Let's say he gets 2.5. That's all I'm only asking for 2.5 for Shador, because once he figure out in the first quarter he's not getting 3 seconds, but he starts getting 2.5, they're going to switch it up.
But
Pat
Harry,
Shermer,
this is where you're missing it. This is where you're missing it, though.
Okay.
Yes, that's great. Shador gets all he needs is, you said 2.5.
Yep, that's all he's going to get anyway. Because y'all remember that the championship game with Washington. What's the name was getting only 2 seconds.
Penix.
Penix, right? Michael Penix Jr. was only, and then he got his rib cracked.
But the other side to that situation is your receivers are now going against guys that are a lot better than what they've already been facing. So the separation that you were getting before, those windows that you were getting before, are not going to be the same. So just because he has the state mandated all he needs is 2.5 seconds, that doesn't mean his receivers are going to be open in that amount of time, because they're going to be facing better competition.
You can't cover them all, bro. You can't kill them all. You can't cover them all.
But Harry, it's
almost the assumption that they're so much better. This is what I don't like at all.
Well, hold on, Harry.
The assumption that they're so much better.
Can we agree? Can we agree the difficulty will go up? Can we at the very least agree that the level of difficulty will go up?
Absolutely, but you're assuming.
Cool.
But what you are assuming is that they're so much better that they run a whole lot of different routes. These cornerbacks and these DBs are so much different. Their pedigree is way different. That Colorado's wide receivers all of a sudden are not going to be able to do anything against these guys.
Nope, you're using an absolute.
Y'all act like y'all don't understand nuance in conversation.
You're using an absolute. You're using an absolute, saying they can't. Well, we're not saying that. What we're saying is this: Colorado is very successful now because they have better athletes. Is the teams they play, is that true or not?
Wait to just prove it, man. Like,
right.
Nothing else to say. It's we just got to prove it, because
no. Well, listen to what I'm saying.
I see it, but you're never going to see it until Colorado does it. So it's going to be a circle of conversation.
The end of the day is if we all sit here and say there ain't nobody on this earth that can beat them. Then
because these teams, you know what it is? It's hard to argue legacy. It's hard to argue when you got 20 championships. It's hard to argue when you got all your fingers are for the rings.
Harry,
it's hard to argue
just listen to what we're saying.
What I'm saying to you is this.
I hear you.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No, don't hear. Listen.
Colorado has better athletes than everybody, to include Nebraska and to include Kansas State. They have better athletes than all the teams that they have played.
But y'all talk like they're unhuman, like Seeking God Film says.
These
guys are not human. These are droids you're talking about.
Seeking God Film can pull up here. We can go back and forth with it. But here's the point I'm saying. Colorado has better athletes for the schedule that they're playing. That's true. And nobody here is saying that Colorado cannot win it all. I believe they can. What we're saying, though, that now we're talking about getting here, and I think it is an uncomfortable conversation, is that you're now going, because we keep saying, well, Shador and these two people are not realizing is that they got athletes too. If you look at the rankings and put it like this,
it's not just Shador anymore.
Wait.
You're just stuck on 2. It's not just 2 anymore. It's a lot more than just 2 now.
I got what you're saying, but if you're talking, you're not listening. Let me finish what I'm saying to you. It's to a point where you're talking about teams, check this out, that you had that you went in the portal to get people from those teams. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about
what does
athletes.
That mean? So what?
We're talking, okay, but then let's do this. Are you going to sit here and tell me that Colorado has just as many athletes as any other other
Yes,
team.
before you finish, yes.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say then.
Yes, and that's what I just
5
can't
minus
wait.
1.
So it's,
5 minus 1.
listen, this is what I see. It's the same argument, the same tired stuff I've been hearing from football analysts. That you look at it, you're like, they can't. Vandy went and did what? Because they couldn't, right? How did Vandy do it? What did Vandy do?
What Vandy played a team that had a new coach that was still learning.
Oh, the coach is still learning.
They're still learning how to play in the SEC because it's a big difference between the Pac-12 and the SEC. But I don't think folks want to realize that.
He forgot how to coach football.
No, what he was saying is you're sitting up here going against teams that's got some freaking athletes. Now he's been able to make adjustments, but understand Bama is not as good as they have been. So we have to notice that. But what I'm sitting here saying to you is that Colorado has some good players, and they have dominated the Big 12. That is good. But you're about to step into this thing. Now, if you believe that athlete for athlete, yes, Colorado is better than all those teams, then hey, I got you.
I'm not saying Colorado is better than all those teams. What I am saying is,
but that's what he asked you when you said
y'all guys that are used to watching these world beaters, y'all gotta take off some of those shades that y'all got on and start realizing that some of these guys are just as human as the teams that as other teams.
Is that argument?
Y'all don't see that. All analysts have gotten it wrong like this whole entire season, and yet you're like, you're still not waking up. You're still thinking like, oh no, yeah, this team is still like, come on.
Hey Harry, I want to say this. We're not saying me like I just stated. I feel like if Colorado is in that slot where BYU is at, which I think that's where they're going to be. That's just my prediction. Do I feel like they have a path to that semifinal game? Yes, I can see a path there if they can sneak by Ohio State. Now, what I'm saying is, like, looking at the bracket that you got up on your screen right now, I feel like Alabama will beat Notre Dame and lose to Oregon. Just by the way that Oregon is playing. I don't
see Alabama losing to Oregon.
What?
Yeah.
Oregon, Alabama, see, and that's what we talking about. That's what we talking about right there. You saying don't talk
Alabama
about the nuances of Alabama. Alabama is not as good this year as they have been in the past years.
But they don't have to be.
But we're looking at the talent. We're looking at the
only reason why you're saying that right now is because Oregon has found ways to win those one possession games.
Listen, Oregon.
If it goes another way, then you would not be saying the same thing.
Oregon knocked off Ohio State.
That's fine. That's fine. Ohio State is actually overrated.
Oh my God.
Ohio State is overrated. I want to tell you that Ohio State is overrated.
So, Harry, who's the best team in the nation right now? Who is the number one team in the nation for you?
I think everybody got to be afraid. Anytime Georgia gets on that field, you got to be afraid of it.
Okay.
That's just how it boils down. Because
we didn't beat this horse long enough.
They're coached well. Georgia is always. You cannot count them out. Now, maybe they're missing a few pieces or communication is a little bit off this year. But anytime Georgia steps on the field, like, you got to be worried if you're any team.
So here, I just want to ask this.
Do you believe that Oregon is number one?
I don't.
I don't. I think just based off of what we've seen, they are undefeated. They have been,
and the only reason why we prop them up is because they've been winning those one score games.
But they've been the most consistent, and you have to reward that. And
consistently winning.
I can't. But okay, so you really mean to tell me that you're gonna put a 2-loss Georgia ahead of an undefeated Oregon?
No. This is not about ranking now. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about ranking. We're talking about a head-to-head Let's get on this field and let's
if
play.
both teams play their
Because
best at their healthiest.
Hey, Phil, let me say this. If you were to really let's just be truthful, right? I feel like the SEC and the Big Ten should be in a whole nother league by themselves. Like they should not.
That's what's eventually
You
going to
shouldn't
happen.
be mixing the ratings, right? The rankings. It's silly to mix the rankings to say, oh, Boise State is number 4. If you were to put them all together, you can't say that Boise State could be number 4. It doesn't make sense because you're looking at every time somebody loses in the Big 12, what happens? They drop 10 spots. So how are you mixing these two to say, oh, they're ranked in the nation? What nation? This doesn't make sense. This whole bracketology, this doesn't make any sense at all.
It makes plenty of sense to me.
It doesn't. It really doesn't because you got to play the same competition for this to make sense.
Unfortunately, that's not how things are set up. You have to go based off.
It's not set up that way, but it should be. It should be set up that way. If anything, take them out of the league. But you can't say for sure. If we would have really put things into perspective, you can't say for sure. Oh, these teams are ranked like this is the top 25 in the nation. It's not the top 25 in the nation. Because we're not ranking them the same. If it was the top 25 in the nation, there's no way that Georgia's losing 2 games and still being ranked as high as they're ranked. There's no way these teams are ranked the way they're ranked.
But okay, let me ask you this. Even with this, how wrong do you think this the top 25 they have for the actual playoffs? How accurate do you think it is? If they were taking a test, do you think they would get an A+, A-, B+, B-? Just how they have the whole thing ranked from 1 to 25.
I'll tell you who I would take. I would take the Big Ten and the SEC, and everybody else can kick rocks.
Well, let me ask you this, Harry.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, let me ask you this. I just want to know. I want to ask the panel this in the chat. If Texas and Oklahoma were still in the Big 12, but Colorado came in and Arizona State, would we be talking about Colorado right now? For the
Texas will win the Big 12. There wouldn't be no BYU and
we would
Colorado.
be talking about them. We would not be talking about them.
Well, now you got to take the undercard. Undercard. Well, yeah, because if you take the undercards, right, Colorado's there, Texas is there, right? Who will be left out? Because you can't. They're not going to be 18 teams, right? Who will be left out? Let's say they don't take Arizona State because Arizona State is straight up gas at the time we took them, right? So Arizona State won't be there, and who else won't be there? Somebody else. I don't know who else would not be there, but Arizona State would not be there, right?
Hey, Harry.
Yeah.
If Oklahoma and Texas didn't play each other like BYU and Arizona, like Iowa State don't have to play each other this season, they'll be playing for the Big 12 championship.
If who?
If Oklahoma and Texas don't play each other like BYU and Iowa State don't have to play each other this year, Texas and Oklahoma, if they were still in the Big 12, would be playing for the Big 12 championship.
Possibly. We don't know that, right? We don't know that. Possibly. Because Colorado's going to be one of your world beaters this year.
I'm rooting for
Colorado. Y'all not going to like it. Y'all not going to like it. Colorado's going to be one of your world beaters, and you're going to be like, oh, shoot, Harry was right. Dang.
Can I at least speak for myself and say that I never disagreed with what you said? The only point that I was making was that the level of competition was going to go up, and then you agreed with that. And then my next point that I was trying to make before you started bloviating is that since the level of competition is going to go up, let's say that passing percentage might go down from 85% to 75% or 75% to 65%, right? Instead of those 5 seconds, he's been getting those he gets the 2.5 seconds instead of those that 5 yard separation the receiver is able to get. He only gets 2 yards. So there are little things, little nuances in those games that will make a difference. And we know football is a game of inches, so that's the reason why I'm saying it is at the very least going to be more difficult. But nobody seems to want to agree with that. I never said they said you could or couldn't win anything. I'm just simply saying that this level of competition is going to be far greater than what they've seen already this year. That was my only point. And I think that's a fair statement to make, but because I'm saying it and I'm a hater, I'm a butter, I'm a legacy,
But I
people
don't
don't
think
want to
anybody
listen to
disagrees.
that.
I agree with that. I agree that it's going to be more difficult. Yes, it will be more difficult. It'll be silly to not think so when Nebraska just gave us everything that they had. Like, it would be silly to think they're in the Big Ten, right?
And can
But
we
keep
also
in
point
mind
out
that also we shut down Nebraska. We shut them down in the second half with our defense. Our defense and our offense has gotten better. So let's say we look at all the Big Ten that's in the top 20, the top 10, right? We can play with the Big Ten. I don't know about the SEC because Colorado obviously has not played any SEC teams yet for us to even play any close. So I can't really tell you for sure, but I know that Colorado has gotten better. And the
Yes.
team
Yes,
the
absolutely.
team that I'm looking at in Colorado, if Shador can get out of his own way, right? I can't wait till he gets to the NFL. I'm going to follow his career very closely because I want to know which coach is going to take away all those bad habits, is going to help him to get rid of those bad habits. Being with his dad, the bad habits don't go away. For some odd reason, his dad just, I don't know, the relationship with him and his dad, for some odd reason, it's not helping him to get rid of his bad habits. It's like almost like he's being enabled, right? He's being like somebody is saying, okay, you're good enough. I'm not going to be too hard on you. I mean, I know he's hard on him, but his bad habits don't go away from season to season. So it's like, are you working on it or you're not? I don't know.
Can I say this, Harry? Let me give you a perspective. Shador is doing what he's doing because he's going up the kind of defenses that he's facing. Okay. You can do that and go back there if you're going up against a very weak Texas Tech defense. You're going up against weaker Baylor defenses, even though Baylor did play a pretty good game. But when we start talking about like when they get into the playoffs, and I believe that they will if we don't have mass chaos in the Big 12, if you're facing an Oregon State, these are teams that they're going to listen. We can go back and forth with this one, and I ain't saying that Shador still won't make plays because he can, but there's no way that anybody on this panel will ever convince me that Colorado's offensive line is better than Ohio State's defensive line. There ain't no way I'm gonna believe that. I'm not saying they can't win,
but DC,
but
do they have to be better?
Here's the thing: we have watched each game where it was a struggle for the keys to beating Colorado are what? Running the ball, have time of possession, and there are teams that can do that. People say, "Oh, we got better." That's what Kansas State did to you. Or Ohio State is better. The other thing is you have to get to Shador, and then you have to limit the explosive plays of Hunter. If you do those three things, you're going to beat Colorado. That has been proven, correct?
And it's not hard to do, right?
Right.
It's only three things. Some teams, they're so balanced that they have more than three things that you can do. Colorado only has, I would say, 2.5, two and a possible. They have two things: get the Shador and stop the explosive plays. Those are two
Harry,
things.
I got a quick question for you. Did you see the Steelers Ravens game?
No, I haven't watched. I haven't been keeping up with the NFL.
Okay, bet. I make it real simple for you.
The Texas truth. We've been stopping since K-State. It's because the other teams are not as good as K-State. You have not faced a ranked team. I get what you're saying and the point, and I respect that. But what we're sitting here saying is there are teams. I'll ask everybody this: that there are teams that can run. Like, for example, UCF obviously can run the ball. They were able to run the ball somewhat, but Colorado stopped them. But then there are teams who can run the dang on ball like Kansas State. Okay. So it's a difference in it. I mean, put it like this. I would not want to go up against Georgia's running back, and I don't even know what his name is. But here's the thing I'm gonna say to you is this: going back to it, because I have to.
Wait. Is Georgia's running back better than Ashton Genty?
It's the line that makes the difference. It's the line that makes the difference.
I mean, no.
No.
I would say no.
Right, but here's the thing.
Okay, hold on. I'm not done yet. Is Georgia's running back better than Devin?
My question, because I keep trying to ask a question and then we start veering off.
Oh, what's your question?
Okay, so with the Steelers game, they beat the Ravens 18-16. They did not score a touchdown. They only kicked field goals and was able to do that and win against Lamar Jackson. Do you think that Colorado could win an ugly game like that against one of these top 12 teams? Well, top 11 teams.
Is that a trick question? Because you already know how I feel about that.
No, so it's not a trick question. What I'm asking is, do you think they can win an ugly game where they're not going off for 300 yards and they have to rely on their special teams? I'm just simply asking the question.
Yes,
and if the answer is yes, then just say yes. Okay, cool. That's it.
I will say this though. Now, given Colorado, we got to give them that respect though. I mean, I do want to make sure, all jokes aside and all hate pushed to the side, that Colorado definitely can, and we expect them to beat the Big 12 championship, which I didn't expect that. I expect them to beat the win total for Vegas, but didn't. I guess I'm looking at it now of I don't want the chaos at the end, so they can get in there and get into the playoff. That should put them somewhere around 14, which I'll think if they went out somewhere around 14, 12, something like that. That's what you want. And they get, what's that?
I was just about to say, I got money on CU to win the conference. I'm gonna win $495 if CU win. So why would I root against them right now?
I want you to win money. Yeah, I do want you to get it so you can get right. I do want to get so you can finally get a good haircut.
There you go.
Deion tax, do y'all think, like, what level of the Deion tax really hinders your ability to really look at them and say and see how good they are?
See, I would tell you, for me, it's not the Deion tax for me. For me, it's
you sure?
Point. No, I'm sure. It's, to me, I think they're a solid team. But see, when I say this next part, it's gonna sound like I'm hating, but two things could be true. I think Colorado has got better, but I'm surprised at how sucky the Big 12 is outside of a couple of teams. Because think about it, everybody got, even the analysts got Big 12.
So then you agree with my ranking. Why do they have top 25 and they're mixing it with Group of 5, Independents, Big 12, and SEC and Big 10?
Watch this.
It's the top 25 for FBS, Harry.
Watch this, Harry.
But it's not the same. It doesn't make sense.
But Harry, check this out. But check this out. If you go back and look at the first rating that Joel Klatt did, the only conference that everybody got wrong was the Big 12. The rest of them, they were pretty much spot on. Go look at it.
Yeah, because how hard is it for you to look at the SEC team? Look what they did last year, right? Like, if I just started doing this, if I was, instead of me doing Big 12, and I was doing SEC, it would literally take me 1 month to be like the top of the SEC and Big 10, and I can tell you, oh, okay, they only made this adjustment. Dude. If you got the best of the best, and you're talking about the creme de la creme, how hard is it to judge the creme de la creme? It's not that hard.
But check this out. Even the Big 12 writers.
Close your eyes and pick Georgia and Alabama, you're done.
Right, but think about this. You're right, though. I ain't gonna lie.
How hard is that?
You're gonna win, right? But check this
you know
out.
What I'm
saying? Even the writers that covered the Big 12 got it completely wrong.
I know.
Even the coaches,
I got it right.
Big 12 got it completely. Everybody who should have been an expert in Big 12 got it all wrong.
Got it all the way wrong.
Yeah. Now I do agree, Harry. Yes. Each year, if you sit back and say Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, not Ohio State.
LSU, like how hard can that be? Like, your job is not hard. SEC, like, I'm an SEC expert. You're not no freaking expert, bro. You can just look at it and be like, look, Okay, everything is already set. What am I going to do? I'm going to follow the recruiting. Okay, I saw what they did this year. I know that Kirby Smart is going to go into that portal, figure out I was weak here, I was weak there, and I know what you were weak at. And just going to go in his Rolodex and be like, okay, I got 3 5-stars that can replace this guy. Let me bring one more in, and I'm done. It's over. And then here I come. I'm a predictor for the SEC. Georgia's going to be number 1. Oh, great. Come on, man. You know what's hard is when you can't tell and you can still stand on business, do your research, look at the players and say, I see something that you don't see, and I think this team are going to be great. If anybody were to tell me, I'm going to put it on the screen right now. If anybody were to tell me that they could do this right here, all right, here we go. If anybody wants to tell me, you DC, you Phil, you Tim, you were all here when we were doing that CBS list. All 3 of y'all were here. BYU was at the bottom. Were they not?
Yes, they were.
Arizona State was at the dead bottom. Iowa State was number 6, or somewhere in the middle. We like number 6. Look how this list is looking. Baylor to be even close to Iowa State. Like, bro, you're really good when you can look through the talent and say, I know, like, just look at what Tim said. Tim said, I see this guy. He came to Colorado, and he used to do X, Y, and Z in the SEC. I think he's going to be great. LaJohntay Wester, you got to look at that guy, or you got to look at this guy from Vandy. They're going to be really good. Bro, you're doing work. That's the real work. We do real work here because we have to. We don't have a choice. We don't have a freaking choice. We got to really look at the data.
So you telling me, hold on one second. So you sitting here and telling me that you, and it's to everybody, it's no shade, we just talking football, that you looked at all the folks that Colorado was getting in, and then you looked at all the rosters of the other team and what they had and what they historically did, and you were able to sit here and say Colorado's going to be in the Big 12 or have a chance.
I can say this, DC.
We literally did that here on this channel. You were part of it.
Hold on.
What are you talking about?
Hold on, what I'm saying.
We literally did that. Every video about video.
No, whoa. Here's what I'm saying to you is that I'm gonna be honest with you now. There's no way
you were a part of it.
What and I'm that's why I'm gonna sit here and say what I'm saying is that it was rightfully so to see they had the potential. But you would also have to have been able to accurately say that, like, who was the guess that Ohio's or that Oklahoma State was going to suck? Did you see that?
Tim, I would say this, DC. Every player that came in preseason, we went over and evaluated those players.
Yeah, but y'all would say, y'all also was sitting here saying
his point is the totality
of it. But y'all were also saying that, like, Chainsaw, he gonna come in and cut people up. We only had wait, no.
You got that from a different channel. Ain't nobody said anything about Chainsaw on this channel. That was when you got that from a different channel.
Okay, Harry, you're right.
Hey,
okay,
DC,
let's change that.
Hey, I can't say this, DC, that
oh God.
I know the Big 12 and how the Big 12 pans out. Just because I'm in Texas.
I'm co-signing Tim. Tim was our Big 12 guy that we lean on, and he was like X, Y, Z, even though he was like, oh, this running back, and we crushed him. But still, Tim was our Big 12 guy.
And see, preseason, I picked them at 10-2. And I always kept saying preseason, before the season kicked off, they were going to be 10-2. And I even said, man, they can look like the St. Louis Rams back in the day when they had Torrey Holt.
I definitely remember that specific statement you made,
but
Tim.
Only
that is correct.
Only thing that they're missing is the Marshall Faulk. That's the only part that they're missing. But with that recipe and knowing the Big 12, I said, man, the only thing that I got wrong was we shouldn't have lost to Nebraska. I totally picked that wrong. The two teams that I said that they possibly may lose to is Kansas State and Oklahoma State.
And interesting that the Nebraska game was the one game that I don't hardly. Well, I get some not from my haters out there because my haters who called me a hater. Nobody said nothing about. Said you could see a mile away Nebraska was going to beat the crap out of Colorado. I will tell you this: my initial assessment of what they had, I didn't think they would be able to put it together. I'm just keeping it real, but what I did see after the Nebraska game, I think it was the Baylor game, is that the things, think about it. Harry was screaming at the top of his lung, run the ball. And they were talking about other things, and then everything came together. But we talked about that. It takes a while for a team to gel. They happen to start gelling. So when Harry says this is not the same team, he is 1,000% correct. I just didn't think that because I didn't expect Oklahoma State to suck as bad as they do. I didn't expect Kansas to suck. I didn't expect Utah to suck. Nobody expected those teams to suck because if those teams had not sucked and were historically what they've been, this will be a different conversation. And who saw BYU doing what they did?
Nobody.
Nobody saw BYU doing what they do. But the one team that everybody nailed was actually Iowa State. They said they will be right there in the sleeper team. That was true.
And DC, and I get the greater point that you're making because we're making it specific to Colorado. But when we look at the predictions that we made for the conference as a whole, everybody was wrong about the same teams. But because when people are right about Colorado, they get to pound their chest, but not forget.
Yeah, we got to pound our chest. You know why? Because we pound our chest because we've been getting the brunt of everybody's joke. We coming from clown emojis, delusionals, all the kind of names you can call any type of sports fan. We got. So we have every single right to make sure that we pound our chest.
Well, I gotta be honest with
the people that were doing it to y'all, not the people that were sitting on here having real conversations with y'all, listening to you. And
no, I'm not talking about the panel. I'm talking about when we're talking, and then in the chat, we got people that just coming at us, and we have to hold our tongue and just keep talking. Like we got a right to talk on this panel to pound our chest. But Colorado is a different team now. Colorado see Nebraska right now. It'll be embarrassing. Colorado's gonna like what Colorado would do to Nebraska today. He'll be like, wait, what? Where was that team? Where was the Colorado team? And forget about those two guys. Oh, they're NFL and blah 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 blah. Okay, come see us now and see what happens. But anyways, let me handle some business. BZ World, thank you for the super chat. He said Buffs going to the national championship. Haters are going to cry. I don't know. I do know that Colorado is going to be one of those world beaters. If Colorado wins out and ends up in the fourth spot, then I can see Colorado, if we have to play Ohio State, Colorado actually shaming some of these people and saying, and then everybody's going to have those, that wide eye emoji. Like, what really is this Colorado team? I feel like that kind of emotion or that kind of jolting feeling is possible. BZ World. Now, I don't know about the national chip. I can agree with you secretly I can agree with you because that's my secret hope that Colorado goes there and then beat the team that if we get there, we're going to win it. Let me just put it that way.
Hey,
Colorado goes to the national championship, we're going to win it. Simple as that.
Hey, I got a question.
Why are you laughing, Tim? Like you don't believe? Like you're supposed to be on our side.
Hey, I like Coach Prime and I like Colorado, man.
But don't be a butter tonight. Don't change your status to a butter.
No, I said they can probably, if they can sneak by Ohio State, they could possibly make it to the semifinals.
Bro, we go to the finals, Colorado wins it. I promise you that.
But what I'm saying, what I wanted to say was, what I don't understand is like, I mean, it's cool to be passionate about your team that you represent and everything. But I guess for me, what I don't understand, and I wish some of the people in the chat would jump online, honestly. I guess they don't really.
And it's just a simple email, jointlplive@gmail.com. That's it. Come on here and let's chat.
That smoke. But, what I'm going to say is like, Phil and DC, they Bama fans. They roll Tide all the way.
And you're
LSU.
What I mean?
And I'm LSU. Want to bury you in the bottom of the stadium. But what?
Not this year, but it's okay. Go ahead.
Right, but this is the thing. This is the thing with me is, yeah, I'm gonna talk noise to DC and Phil and everything. That's just because we fans of different teams. But the reality part of me know that LSU is rebuilding a program and they're not there yet. You know what I mean? I give them maybe 2 more years and then we can revisit the conversation. But right now, playing with a freshman running back, playing with a trash quarterback. No, what we did in the beginning of the season, I already knew that they was gonna run out of gas. You know what I mean?
What year is your trash running back? I mean, quarterback.
I think he's a sophomore.
This is
Junior.
first year starting though. This is first year starting.
Yeah, this is first year starting behind Burrow.
So how you just say he trash?
Man, he is garbage. He's garbage, man. I mean, did you see what they did against Alabama, right? You see how he played against Alabama?
I don't think I saw the game.
Oh, okay. Go back and look at the highlights. It went pretty. But what I'm saying is that I can tell DC and Phil, hey man, I can see y'all beating us this year. You know. But when we talk about other teams possibly beating Colorado, it makes me question, are you really a fan of CU or are you really just a fan of Coach Prime?
Well, okay, so let me add something to that conversation. This is the one thing that I don't see people really like honing in on. I feel like when people judge Colorado, they don't judge Colorado based on the same criteria that they use when they're judging other teams. It seems like other teams can get better, but Colorado can't possibly get better. Colorado's defense is really good. Colorado's offense is really good. If they can play complementary football, it's going to be very hard to beat Colorado. The only thing is they cannot play complementary football because it's either the defense shows up or the offense shows up. They're taking breaks. K-State, the defense did not show up, and they ran the ball all over us. By the time the third quarter came, we were too tired. So K-State ended up beating us. Yeah, we could have won that game, and right now we could be making a stronger argument that we did beat ranked K-State. Right now we can't. So I don't know, DC and Phil, do y'all understand now when I say sharing the microphone? Do y'all understand now what I mean? Because you cannot make an argument if you haven't beat a solid ranked team. If we were to beat that K-State, wouldn't my argument be a lot more valid right now?
Mine would be too.
I would say it would be, but I think it is to a point for me personally. Am I a Colorado fan? No, I'm not a Colorado hater. I'm an ultimate football fan, though my team is Bama, but I have other teams that I like. And Colorado is one of those teams that I like, but I'm not because I'm not look. I said put it like this: I've been a Cowboys fan since a kid, and I hated last night. Oh my God! But I sat there and watched the game because I'm gonna pull for my team, good, bad, or ugly. What I would say to folks, you have to understand this, Colorado fans, is this: Colorado you're a winning team, but you have not gotten back to a winning program yet. That's why you get the pushback. It's not that for some people like myself, it's not that we don't think you're good and you're moving in the right direction. Your upside is phenomenal, but it's to a point of, like Harry said, you can't. The thing I see with the Colorado community is that you talking like you got the crown yet. You got to take it. You have to go in there into the ring and beat the man to beat a man. But now, and unfortunately, the schedule you got, it doesn't allow you to do it, but you're about to get there. So that's a great thing, but you can't expect folks that's been watching football for decades, even if whether you have or you just showed up to college football, and expect folks to say, I'm going to give you the same props that I'm going to give a Georgia or Ohio State or Michigan right off the bat. I'm not going to do that.
But
every team had to earn it.
Right. Okay, so that's where I meet y'all at. That's where I want to meet y'all at. Remember the last conversation we had, and I said, well, a lot of the mistakes that a lot of pundits make, a lot of analysts make, is that you're only it's easy to evaluate a team based on wins and losses. You don't know anything else other than that. If you can't do any, if you can't dig, if you don't have the ability to dig into the nuances and find something to say, well, I see this on this team and I think they can do X, Y, and Z. If you can't do that, then you're just lost. Like, you're not necessarily really evaluating. You're just based on, oh, well, this team, they've won the championship the last 3 years, so they're going to be X, Y, and Z next year. And then next year, you look at it and they're at the bottom. So it's like, it's not a real evaluation, or it's just you're looking at wins and losses.
Well,
if that's all you
Bama
got,
was
then
gonna
how
be
are you
9-2.
really evaluating? You're just looking at wins and losses. Anybody
No,
can,
not
a
really,
blind man
no.
can do that.
No, but here's the thing is, okay, so watch this. I could sit here and say Colorado's gonna go 10-2 or 12-0. If I was wrong, I'm not gonna hear much about it. But if you're right, you get to claim that. My thing is, if you really do feel that way, pick another team next year and then say what they're going to do. Because if you know football, you know football. I said Bama was
If
going
you've
to be
been
9.
watching, the data
But watch
is
this.
the data
But
is
watch
there.
this. Right, but what I said is Bama was going to be 9-3. And what are they now? They're, because I knew what they were losing, because I know that team. And now understand, if I was being a hater, I would come on here every day and say, well, yeah, Colorado, y'all playing a little football, but you still ain't got them rings and you still ain't got the trophy. I don't believe in that. That's not right. I think that we deserve to support Coach Prime as he builds something great, which we want to see. And that's why I'm here. I like the community, and I like to see what Prime is doing. And was I impressed at all last year? Oh, heck no. Was I impressed at the beginning of the year? Not so much.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
What's up?
I know TLP is gonna nail the Big 12 next year. Watch this. I'm gonna start with you, Phil. Phil, where do you think Colorado is gonna be ranked in the Big 12 starting the season?
Starting next year?
Starting next year, 2025 season. Where are they gonna preseason rank Colorado?
Top 3, and they won't be 3.
Thank you. Okay, DC, where would they rank Colorado?
In the Big 12?
In the Big 12. We're just talking Big 12 right now.
I think y'all will be 4.
Okay. Where do you...
Can you hear me?
I can
Hello?
hear you, Tim.
Oh,
I can hear
hear
you,
me now?
Tim.
Okay. Say that. Repeat that again.
He was asking, where do you think they'll rank Colorado in the Big 12?
Next year?
Next year, 2025. I'm doing this on purpose.
They're in the Big 12. They'll rank them number 1 if they win the Big 12 championship.
Okay, now let's flip this. Based on the talent, based on the data, Phil, where do you think, right? Where do you think? Remember, we started with they. Now I'm saying based on the data, because you got to consider who's leaving, who's coming, X, Y, and Z. Where do you think Colorado would be ranked?
We don't have complete data because the transfer portal hasn't started yet. And like I mentioned earlier,
just make something up,
the
Phil.
transfer portal. But this is a really hard hypothetical, because what if they lose more than they gain? But at any rate, assuming that the pattern continues with Dion bringing in the talent he does, they'll have them at number 1, in my opinion.
I'm not saying they. The first question was they. I'm talking about you now. You.
Oh, where will I?
Yeah, you.
I would still probably say top 3, and it won't be 3.
Okay, DC, where will you rank Colorado based on who they're losing and based on the data only? Where do you think Colorado will be ranked in preseason?
I think they probably will be.
Should be ranked.
I'm assuming they're going to get at least an above average quarterback. You're not getting a Shador, more than likely, but I would have to say somewhere around. I would say 3. I would.
All right, Tim, where do you think Colorado should be ranked based on who they're going to be losing and possibly who they get?
Okay, they should be number 1 based off of who they're losing, as well as who they're going to get, because Prime showed us this season what he can do in the transfer portal, as well as getting another 5-star in Jordan Seaton. So I would still keep them at number 1.
Can I say this though?
Colorado will be number 5.
Say that again.
Colorado will be number 5.
That's you.
That's me.
Mm.
And there's a reason why Colorado would be number 5. You got to look at everything. I'm looking at every single thing. The reason why Colorado's winning right now, the reason why Colorado is where they are, and the reason why other teams are where they are, Colorado would be rightfully at number 5, and hopefully to try to keep to stay number 5 and look into that third spot. You will see what happens, what starts to happen in 2025. In the beginning, like you will see. Colorado at number 5 will be a solid place. I think 5 and 5 would be the where they're going to rank. Colorado is going to be where the quote unquote is going to be 1 or 2. If Colorado wins out, Colorado is the best team, 1 or 2. That's where they're going to rank Colorado. But that ranking is only going to be based on this year. That's why I hate rankings. Rankings don't make sense. People don't look at stuff
But
when it comes
Harry,
to who they're losing.
Hey,
but
Harry.
let's be fair. Let's be fair though to those people that did those rankings. You actually sat down and read everything they wrote out. So it wasn't like they just was pulling stuff out there behind. They actually were saying, "Hey, this person has come in. This person did this at the previous school. They actually did their due diligence. They just happened to be wrong." And I think that's fair.
No, but
Well,
look, you can do your due diligence. You can look at and you can say, oh, okay, this person did this person did that. Based upon this, I'm ranking them here. Yes, but you can still use that data and say, well, I don't know that this person is strong enough to make this happen.
Well, at
Well, it's
that
not an
point, you
Colorado
make
is
absolute.
really
decisions
where
based
they're
off of
at
whatever
because
you
of
believe.
Shador Sanders. You lose
Agreed.
Shador Sanders, you're losing the whole team.
You are right. I will tell you this though. The reason why I'm saying making my prediction is because Avery Johnson comes back, Kansas State. You've got Rocco Beck come back, Iowa State. You've got some teams that are good that are not losing a ton of pieces. I know that Arizona State is losing Scatterboo. So the thing I'm saying is that I believe that Colorado. Here's what I'm saying. This is why I am believing that the prime magic will show up is to be able to get a good QB that's able to come in there and be functional. But I will tell you, my concern is I think their staff is going to get rated for positions. You see, some teams have already fired their job. You can't sit here and tell me that Florida Atlantic wouldn't try to go after a Schumer. That's the thing about it. Though that's the
Oh,
thing
okay.
I
So
look at.
that's the wrinkle that you want to throw in there too. That I
Yeah,
can
I
see
have
that.
to
I
throw
can
hey,
that
see that
wrinkle in
happen.
there.
And,
I gotta throw it.
Livingston might. Whew.
Oh, Livingston gone. Y'all can
Yeah,
just go ahead and just say it now.
yeah.
Livingston is gone. You can see his. Why would he stay there to be that when he could either probably be back in the NFL or be a head coach someplace?
No. I don't think that the projection is NFL. I think Livingston is going to be a head coach somewhere. But
Can
I
I say
hope.
this
I
though?
hope.
I
Can I
think
say
I
that?
think I think Livingston may come back one more season.
I'm hoping though
Uh,
that Tim. That's what I'm
but
hoping, Tim.
I think that the you stated that they're losing Shador.
That's the
Uh,
biggest piece, bro.
I feel like they losing the name. You losing the name Shador. You losing the name Travis Hunter. You just losing those names. That's it.
Okay,
The
help me understand. Help me understand.
okay, you go in and you get a Juju, right? Get a Juju Lewis, 5-star quarterback. And by them winning, you get this flood of old linemen, right, that want to come to see you, right? So it's kind of like,
How do you know how many O linemen that we've been able to secure since we've been winning?
no, I mean, the portal haven't opened up, but what I'm saying is they won 4 games the first season and you see what they got. And then now they're 8-2. So, and if they make a bowl game, or better yet, they win that bowl game, or just so how make it deep into the playoff, man, do you know the floodgates are gonna open up? Coach Prime will then be able to handpick with his staff old linemen that
Are you
they
being
deem.
wishful, or do you really think that that's
No,
what's going to happen?
I'm just, yes, I really do think that's going to happen, and those guys are gonna come and be a asset in protecting Juju. They got players that's coming back in that wide receiver room, and they're gonna gain some out of the portal as well. So, and those guys that's coming in from high school, those pretty much he looking for those guys to be ready to play now.
So what you're
Uh,
saying is a freshman QB. Let's say if he does. So are you saying because you said Juju? So what you're
mhm.
saying is you're believing that Juju will sign, that freshman QB will come in, and
Mhm.
that will get you ranked number one.
No, what I'm saying is they're
Not
they're
saying he
gonna
can't play.
they're ranking you off of the previous season,
Yeah,
right?
that's how the rankings go.
Okay,
Previous season.
to sustain that number one ranking moving forward is what I'm saying. I'm saying they have Coach Prime is going to bring in that veteran experience to jail just like he did this season with some of the younger guys and the caliber of quarterback that Juju is. Say,
So
man,
do you think Juju's going to translate right away? He
yes,
comes in.
right away. He's gonna translate day one, man. If you go back and look at this kid, high school film, he can throw he can spin the ball, he can put the ball in the right spot, just like Shador. He led his high school team to a national championship as a freshman.
Tim, my only concern with Juju is the fact that he reclassified. So technically, he should be a junior this year in high school, but he's a senior this year. So he is going to be a lot younger. So I don't know what that's going to look like from the level of maturity, from a physical and mental standpoint. So that would be my only concern about him. But I think as far as like some of the physical attributes, he has it. But I don't know how easy that jump from being 17 years old playing with other 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds to playing with guys or playing against guys that are going to likely be in their 20s, since everybody's so portal heavy now. So that would be my
Okay,
only
but
concern.
the only pushback to that field, I know that that's a difference in age, but the kids, he showed himself in his body language, show himself mature. You know what I mean? When he
No,
come
I
into
agree.
that,
I agree.
you know what I mean? But also take this into consideration. When he was a freshman, how old was he then? Versus seniors,
So,
18-year-olds.
but okay, let's listen.
Harry, can I ask you one quick question though? Just one question. All
Just
right,
one, you sure?
just one for this point right now. So
Okay.
what we're because I mean we don't know necessarily what Juju is. Ravioli came in and then we see how he's playing now is not very good. He was great at the beginning, but they adjusted to him and basically have confused him a lot. Juju, am I thinking you're going to come in if you are starter at 1-1, number one, and you don't have another quarterback? I don't think you stay there. And I would. So I'm gonna ask you this, all of y'all this, because more
I'm
than
not on the
likely,
Juju train. So this
okay,
is about Juju.
neither am I. But I'm gonna ask this question: if you go back
Okay.
and look at, like, let's say, take the top 30 QBs that are playing now that are sophomores and junior, you're more than likely gonna have to get a portal player. So, for example, the number fourth QB in the nation right now is Chandler Morris. He's at University of North Texas. He's got 3,328 yards, 27 TDs, 12 interceptions. Is that going to be a guy that you go after? That's the things that you have to start looking at. It's like, because Cam Ward, we knew he was good. But when you go and look at the top 30s, which one of those are you likely to get? Because at this point, in order to get back to where you want to be, because again, Dion brought a son. He brought his prodigy, and he brought that. You got to go into the portal. Who is playing right now that you think you can get? Those are the questions you have to ask. So, Harry, have you seen anybody out there that you like? Colorado needs to get him.
You talking about for quarterback position?
Yeah, like in the portal. Hey,
That's on a good team.
good team or not, regardless, top 30. Which do y'all see? And I asked the chat, who would be a quarterback that Colorado should target?
Hey, but again, DC,
I don't.
before I
I don't
answer,
If
know.
he
I
can
think you
get if
gotta
he can
you
get
gotta pay
Manning, that'll
attention.
be a good pick.
Who?
You know, get Tim.
Arch Manning.
No, you
Tim.
asked. You
Tim.
said who would be a
Stop
I'm
good.
going
playing.
Tim.
Yeah, like Manny would come to a prime. Like, stop playing.
But real quick though, seriously though, the transfer portal is going to be going on during the playoffs, and teams are going to have to pay attention to that. Players are going to have to make some tough decisions because if you know you're going to transfer, we know the sooner you get in the portal, the better because then you have more options. The more options you have,
The
the
later you
better
wait.
decision you can make. The better decision you can make. But if you wait till the end and everybody's already filled up positions,
Mm-hmm.
specifically a position where you're actually trying to be a starter, maybe a quarterback, receiver, linebacker, cornerback, something like that. That's like a non-rotational position. You want to go ahead and get that school solidified so you can get that job solidified. So it's going to be interesting to see how people go about team management uh,
First of
during
all,
the playoffs.
forget CU, but will Manning ever leave Texas? Will he even venture to leave Texas?
Man, you can forget that SEC, his family, SEC. Think about it. And had a brother. Well, you had I forget, but you had a Manning at Tennessee. You done had one, two at Ole Miss, and now you got one in Texas. You're not getting him out the SEC. That's too much of a legacy. But now I'm not going to even throw nobody under the bus and ask which one of y'all would send your son, who was a top QB, to play at Colorado, because I don't want to hurt the chat's feelings. But I'm going to ask
Some people
is
are
I
wild.
mean, you just lose me like 10 subscribers, but I can handle it. But no, but we're not going to ask that question. But
no, we're not going.
before let's listen. I'm not on the Juju train. Did you ask your question, DC?
Yeah, I asked about that. Which one was out there? And honestly,
Oh,
I have
nobody.
been,
Yeah,
and I have been
there's not
looking, but
any
I don't see one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's not any quarterback that I think Colorado will get. But
Right.
that's why I'm saying I will be very cautious on how I grade the Big 12 coming back. The teams that you see now are not going to be the same team. So there's going to be a lot of changes. Is Colorado going to be the same Colorado that we see this year? It's not going to be the same Colorado. And I'm not ready to have this conversation with this fan base yet because, again, this fan base is very slow on getting things going when it comes to like, hey, the hard information it hurts. You feel me? Like we want to enjoy this. We want to enjoy what we got going on right now. Let's wait until things, go further down and maybe we start like when do we start having the hard conversations? I think maybe like the second month after the season is over, then we'll start getting the hard conversations. Right now, let's just enjoy what we got because I don't want people to start crying because we're dealing with Dion and we're dealing with Colorado.
But Harry, I would say this to you.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's enjoy it, and I'm going to give myself a butter band for the next week. But I am going to say this because in that conversation as we move on, it's one thing to sit back. Yes, you want the portal, but consider because being an SEC fan, I know how dirty the recruiting is. It's folks talking to your players. I can promise you that.
Of course.
All them folks out there doing is Hill Green, what is he, a junior, senior, or sophomore?
Nakai is out of here. Nakai's gone.
Okay.
Nakai Hill growing.
Right, that's right. I figured as much. But this folks talking to your players.
Bro, we're losing. First of all, we're losing half, if not almost all of those that defensive line. They're almost gone. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So they're gone. That's why I say we're
It's
not
roughly
ready yet.
half of your sack production.
Yeah, we're not. The production we got right now, the ones that we getting players, the players that we got right now that we can say, okay, we feel confident, they're gone. So that's a conversation we're not ready to have yet, and I'm not willing to get people upset because I always get the brunt of everything, even though when at the end you start looking at it, you're like, oh dang, Harry B was right again.
I mean, those guys are going
Ju-
on to better things,
Judon said
and
I cry the most.
those
I'm
things
right the
happen.
most.
Those things happen every season. I mean, you gonna always bring in players as players are exiting. That's gonna be every season. But I guess for me, the confidence that I have relies in Coach Prime. Call it butter or whatever, but I'm just seeing what he's. I'm paying attention to what he's doing consistently. You know what I
But
mean?
Prime can't play. The players got to play
No,
themselves.
that's fine. But we all said on this show, if Prime starts winning, what's going to happen, right? We talked
We
about
got
that.
we got to look at the recruits. We got to look at who's coming in. What are the potentials? What are the potential players? Prime has a
We
different
got the
philosophy.
portal.
Prime's philosophy is different from a lot of people's philosophy. He wants to make sure that we gotta. First of all, now he's really bullish on the trenches because he knows if he has championship aspirations, you want to start competing with the Ohio States and the LSU's when you get into that championship. Like if we win out, you'll see like what'll happen. But anyway, let's just wait. I got a question for y'all because I just want to know for my own low sake. Do y'all see Nebraska? They're 5-5 right now. Do y'all see them making the bowl game? And if so, do they beat Wisconsin or Iowa? Which one is the easier road for them to make the bowl game?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is
Wisconsin,
bad.
yes, they'll get to a bowl game.
Yeah, they'll get to a bowl game. Iowa's going to be a hard matchup for them. But I could still see them possibly sneaking out of there with a win, depending on how uh, how well they play against Wisconsin.
So if they're so bruised, if they're like so bruised that they go to Wisconsin and take a L, then, right? They can go to Wisconsin. Is Wisconsin Big Ten?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so Wisconsin is at the bottom of the Big Ten.
yeah, they the Vandies. But hey, Harry, can I
No,
throw?
Wisconsin is that Wisconsin is 3 spots higher than what's the name? Than Nebraska in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they are, but that Nebraska is a better team in my opinion than Wisconsin. And Wisconsin coming off a loss too. Well, both of them coming off a loss. More so
Yeah,
Nebraska
USC
than
just gave
Wisconsin.
Nebraska that beating.
Yep.
Yeah, but can I throw let me throw something out there real quick, Harry.
Yeah, we're
We were
doing that
just
marathon again, so
yeah,
we're about to close it out. Go ahead.
right. I think next year, well, yeah, next season, I feel like a part of me, if Alabama does not make it deep in this playoff, I feel like the wheels is gonna fall off from up under their car. And I feel like that program is going to take a hard hit and players are going to they're going to move around. And I feel like Coach Prime going to get his hands on some of them.
Wait, you say if Alabama doesn't make it into this playoff, they're gonna,
No,
Man,
if
Tim,
Alabama don't make a deep run, see,
bro.
they
I
was
don't, Tim.
they
I
had a
got
I
bad
love
news
you. I
for you,
love you to
Tim.
life, but
listen at what I'm
there's.
saying.
I don't know about that because remember that's what the same thing we were hoping for, and
Listen,
it never transpired.
Hold on.
SEC
Let him
players are
finish.
when
not
Let
Nick
him
willing
finish
to
Saban
so I
jump
can go.
ship like that.
when Nick Saban announced that he was going to retire, those players was finna jump in the portal. If it wasn't for Nick Saban coming back up under the scene, I mean behind the scenes, telling his players, "Hey, give this coach a chance," then they would have jumped in that portal. Now, if they don't make that run that everybody's hoping, especially Roll Tide fans, if they don't, if they do not make a big enough splash in these playoffs, mark my word, they're gonna jump in that portal and y'all gonna come back and say, "Dang, Tim called it."
Don't take the
But
bait,
listen, though,
Phil.
Tim.
Don't take the
No, no,
bait,
no,
Phil. He
no.
said,
I'm not.
don't take it. Just let it
No,
Yeah,
go.
I'm
I
not
no,
know
no.
right.
I
he's
promise.
sniffing his wife nail polish, but
I
No,
let
no,
don't.
no. I
him
Yeah, I'm
promise.
not
sniff
right.
I gotta,
Hey,
I gotta,
hey, but hold
I
on.
have a serious
The one
response
thing
if I
that we're
can.
not gonna
I do
miss
have
is
a
that you
serious
said
response.
they might come to Colorado. That's the part where I say I call the D word delusional part. That's
No,
the
that
yeah.
culture up there, all of them big old Portwood toting boys from Alabama. Colorado is their culture. They gonna come.
Nah.
But
The
I want to point out something, and I want to be very serious when I say this.
good
The
food
guys
served
that
and
have
all.
transferred from Alabama and went to other places have been that successful. So that may not be a good thing, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. I don't
I'm not taking the bait. I'm just letting you know now.
hold on.
Good job, Tim. You're
Let me
right.
let me just answer somebody that was in the chat. They said no, not true. BJ Green cooks Chipotle. Who is Chipotle?
Somebody hungry.
Who is we got a person named Chipotle?
Chidozi. Chipotle. Let me get a guac on the side.
Yeah, let me get a mix chicken and beef. Yo, come on, Mr. Juice, Mr. James. He said Chipotle. Stop playing with me, yo. Okay,
Yo,
all
Harry,
right.
can you pull up? Can you pull up the
Hold
screenshot
on.
I sent you?
Let me
Okay.
answer this real quick. So BJ Green, Cokes, Bentley, and Hill are the only ones leaving. And that's a lot, bro. I don't know what point you were trying to make, but but look at it. Like the linebackers that are this year that are making the news, they're making the plays. Everybody you name right now is exactly what the production. That's your heavy lifters. So
Wester would make a big splash if he was given the opportunity because when he came in that
Chipotle.
UCF game, he caused that fumble for Silman Craig to run back for a touchdown. So do not sleep on Wester because he was productive at FAU before he was transferred to Colorado.
Deshaunte Wester?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that a wide receiver?
No, his brother that played linebacker.
Yeah, the other guy. We talked about him, right? We talked. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, Mr. James, I think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about your heavy lifters. We're not saying because you're saying not true. Then when you said not true, BJ Green, then you list like the entire producers and said those are the only ones leaving. That's our point. Like that's everyone.
And then he got caught up with
Nuance.
thinking about lunch. It was like Chipotle, macaroni grill.
Right. You start talking
Everybody
about your
said.
when you start talking about Chipotle.
Nuance doesn't matter when you have conversations
I'm
anymore.
just
We
playing.
can't be adults.
Oh my God. When you, when you start thinking about your lunch for tomorrow, then you know you're not in the conversation. You know you messed up when you start thinking about if you want chicken or steak. Anyways.
Hey, let me ask this: are all those guys? I know Bentley and Nakai Hill Green are this their last rodeo. The other guys that you named, this is their last season too. They can't be they all grad students too.
Yeah, all these guys are
Yeah,
gone, by the way.
I know Hill Green is a grad transfer.
Yeah,
Right,
Hill Green, his story, his he comes from Michigan, Charlotte, so he's out. He's done. These guys are one and done. They're out of here. So
right. But
hey,
some of the
hey,
other guys,
Just keep scrolling down here.
Phil, go explain it so we can go ahead and get up out of here
No,
because
no, no.
we're
This is just a projection for bowl games, just
okay.
based off of what rankings are. And if you go down to the next section, is you should see Colorado because it should be Power Four. Okay, stop, and then you can
Right here.
zoom in. Yeah, zoom in, and this should be the Holiday Bowl, Colorado versus Clemson. And this is just simply a projection based off of what the polls or the rankings have right now. This is not guaranteed. We know that, but this is just giving you an idea of what Colorado could face.
But y'all remember when we was looking at the rankings So and y'all said that the bowl games are part of the playoffs, right?
Yes, the New Year's Six games are a part of the playoffs, not just the
So that
regular nobody care bowl games.
right. So then, if Colorado's playing Clemson, then where are they falling in the bracket?
They're not in the playoffs, Harry. This is based off the rankings right now. This is saying Colorado ends the season at number 16. Based off of
Hmm.
that, in the conference affiliations, this tells you who they have to play against, and this would be the projected bowl game they would play in.
Even though it would be far better for them to go to the Las Vegas Bowl
Correct.
against the Texas
Not,
A&M.
hey, let me ask you
Also,
guys.
and remember, they're still playing the Pac-12 tie-in games this year.
Hey, let me ask you this question, guys. Okay, with just say everything goes accordingly to what they say. We get the Holiday Bowl on the 27th, right? Against Clemson. Do you think that Shador and Travis will even play in that Holiday Bowl?
That's gonna be hard because I think you can't get
Why are you
there and
always
not
coming
do it.
back to
But then
that?
you got to protect yourself.
No, a
You got
lot
to
of guys,
protect yourself, but it's gonna be
a lot of
hard. It's gonna be
yeah.
hard to not want to finish the season outright. But if you know you're gonna be the number one, number five draft pick, that's gonna be hard to play in that game.
Well, Phil, you got to tell Harry where the Holiday Bowl is. Harry is in San Diego.
Yeah.
I
Say,
don't see them playing in that bowl.
but y'all just saying it for the NFL, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of players don't, that once if they don't make the playoffs, a lot of they starters that's finna go first round, a lot of them don't even play in those bowl games. Now, if they've made it to the playoffs, then they'll play. But as far as the bowl game, a lot of them been sitting out.
Hmm. I don't see it happening, but okay. Okay, so Colorado wins out, then this scenario, then where did it land? Like, if Colorado wins out, which bowl do we get?
You get the playoffs if they win out.
So then we're not.
If they win out and win the Big 12 championship, they'll make it to the playoffs. But if they get to the Big 12 championship and lose, then I can't see them playing in that, giving them a Holiday Bowl. I think they'll give them a better bowl than the Holiday Bowl. Do you agree, Phil, in DC? Or you think it still be the same?
I think that's based upon them not winning. But I
Okay.
don't know.
No, it would change. It would change because then that would be the number two team in the conference. But again, they still would play tie-in games with the Big 12. Excuse me, the Pac-12, not the Big 12 this year. But yeah, that definitely would change. But again, this is just showing you if the
What do you
season
mean
ended right now.
Pac-12?
Harry, remember about 2 weeks ago, I was saying that the bowl games, the teams that left the Pac-12 last year, still
Mm-hmm.
have Pac-12 bowl game tie-ins that they have to play one more year. So
Right.
the bowl games that Colorado will play in will be associated with Pac-12 teams, not Big 12 teams. So that's why these people are able to break down what bowl games teams will be playing in because each bowl game has conference affiliations.
That's right.
Yeah, but you know
But the
what?
bowl game will change, and it will more than likely be. It very well could be a New Year's Eve game, possibly. So that could be a good thing. Actually, if you just scroll down some, you can look and see where, you know, other teams kind of ranking. It'll let you know where to fall.
Scroll down more to where, like,
Because it's going to tell you more. These are like the better bowl games. So you can look at like, let's say maybe like a Cincinnati. Maybe you could get the First Responders Bowl, or that'd probably be about it because there are no Pac-12 or Big 12 teams there. So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
How do
But they
Texas Tech get the well, no, that's at the Cotton Bowl, ain't it? Texas Bowl.
Right, and
Okay.
and that make see because you don't want CU to fall there. fall. I mean, that would make it easy for you, Tim, to go to the game. But you certainly don't want to see them dropping that far down, or like the Liberty Bowl, the Memphis. That's a dumpster fire. Liberty Bowl's not bad, but I think that I would see them as runner up again. You got to win out. Just win out.
It starts with beating Kansas, and Kansas is not an easy team to beat. But I think Colorado wins that game because Kansas their talent level is more like K-State because they got the run game. But the one thing that Kansas is really depleted on, I don't know that their secondary is that great. Even though their corners are good corners, and you got the Kobe Bryants, and I feel like they can be beat. So,
hey, do you see that down there? First round games, number 12, Harry.
Yeah.
Where it say BYU Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
At number 5, Ohio State, winner of the Fiesta Bowl. That's where we want to be at.
Yeah.
But is Harry gonna travel to Tempe?
Say that again.
Is Harry going to travel to Tempe? Isn't that in Tempe, Arizona?
I'm not traveling anywhere. It's better for me to be in my studio in New York and we having a conversation than for me to be running around from a hotel trying to figure out my cell phone can't get no signal. I ain't doing all of that. Nah. I'm just going to come into my studio and have some chicken wings sitting right here. I'm going to have like the whole buffalo, maybe not buffalo this time because I don't want to get cooked, but I will have some wings. And I'll sit right here and we'll have a good old time. So that's how it's going to be. But it's 10 o'clock. Let's get up out of here. Let me get final thoughts.
I was going to ask, can we do a quick prediction, like just based off of the games, based off of the bracket? But we can do that Friday, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say something for Friday. Final thoughts, please. Let's start with Tim, going backwards. Tim, DC, and then Phil.
Hey, great show tonight, Harry, man. Thank you for having me on your panel, man. DC and Phil, man, it's always great chatting with you brothers. But what I was gonna say, man, I'm gonna hold my thoughts till Friday about this Kansas game because I got a lot of things to point out that I've been doing some research on. But Texas True, put your pom-poms down, man.
That Texas True. Hey, he's just trying to keep y'all honest. That's all. Let them do their job. They're doing their job. We're doing ours on the panel. Maybe one day Surf and the Texas Truth will come on and we can all, battle it out. But, you know what I'm saying? I do have, let me see. Harry, I agree. I used to go to most Georgia games and I decided to buy a giant TV and watch the games from home so I could see all the games. Yeah. I mean, if you've been to the stadium, if you've been there, there are calls that you make. You're asking other people, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love the stadium atmosphere and I can get into people's heads and stuff, but it's better to be right here. You know what I'm saying? And when I do that, I think I may do it on a regular TV. There's no way I'm going to be behind once we start getting into like the playoffs and like the championship game. I'm probably going to have to take everything to my living room. You're not going to see this look in this studio look because I can't be on the computer watching the game. There's no way y'all going to be screaming, touchdown, and I'm going to be like, what? Wait, what happened? We're not doing that. All right, anyways, go ahead, DC.
Well, first, Tim, you don't trash my team and then try to be friends. Just letting you know when I see you is on site, bro. On site.
Already.
As far as this, no, I'm going to be honest with you. Now that we're near the end of the season, even though it seemed like it took forever to get here, impressive changes and dynamics with the Colorado program. I think that's going to be a good game. I'd love to see you win. If you lose, I won't come on here gloating or anything like that because it's not my style. It'll just be to a point of there's still work to do. Harry, phenomenal show. Hope folks are liking and subscribing to it because this is out of all the channels I listen to, this is one of the ones that have really good, solid football talk. And you can actually not be a pom-pom shaker and talk football. So great show. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Hey, man, they hate me, so I might as well just, lean in right now. If they already hate me, then where else I got to go, right? It's just I might as well just talk football because if you're gonna hate me, you're gonna hate me. Anyways, go ahead, Phil. What you got for me, brother?
Hey, like, wasn't it Frank Sinatra that said I did it my way?
Did he steal that, or was that original?
I don't know, but the point is, if you're
I
gonna
think
be
he stole that,
successful,
just
do
like
it your way.
white
Yeah,
people
he
be
got it
stealing
from
shit.
Little Richard. Yeah, we know
Yeah,
it. He stole
I'm
it.
sure he stole that.
And you want to know where Little Richard from? Macon, Georgia. Um,
And there you go. Look at that connection right there.
there you go. He's one of the greatest out here, man. No, but all jokes aside, man, like nuance does matter when we're having conversations. Like, let's not think that just because we make one statement that is an absolute. So let's try to have an adult conversation when we're talking about football because it makes life a lot easier instead of nitpicking. And if you listen to understand instead of listen to respond, the conversation can be even better. And we'll realize that we agree on a hell of a lot more than we disagree on. And the world would be a better
I don't want
place
to
if
agree
we
with
did
you.
that
I hope
in
y'all
real
know that.
life.
I don't
It's
want
okay,
to agree
Harry.
with you. I'm always
If
trying to
you
find
want to live,
opportunity to disagree.
but you know what, Harry? It's okay if you want to live your life being wrong. That is your choice.
Hey, being wrong is hard for me on this channel. Okay, I've been right a lot, so it's hard for me that I've been so right. You know, I kind of
And you
gloat
want to
in my rightness.
and you want to know the funny part about it is
What's that?
a lot of times we agree. You just decide to take a different interstate or a different subway than I take, but we get to the same place.
But don't agree. I want you to just do your own thing. But I just know that I'm going to be right a lot. That's what a lot of
Harry,
people don't get.
I'm always going to tell you how I feel,
Good.
100%.
And now we got a new photo. All right, somebody's hiding their face. It looks like Wild Dog. And then there's somebody's peeking from behind you like a band member. Can you explain your photo before we get to we go?
Yeah, real quick. Me and my homeboys, we had a press box for a Atlanta United soccer match. So it was about like 15 of us, 20 of us in there. Um, and these are my boys. We call ourselves the Four Horsemen. That's why my boy Jamal has the number 4 over his face, and that's my cousin Brandon behind me being silly. And then I always cover up my eye when I take a selfie with them. Why? I have no idea. Our friend Calvin, who is the 4th of the Four Horsemen, could not join us, so we always try to take selfies when we're together, even if all of us are not together.
So when you're not together, y'all got to change that to three cattles, something.
No, it's always 4.
It's always
It's
four,
always
whatever.
4.
All right, well, guys, thank you for joining me on this special edition of TLP Sports Club. I think we said we're gonna do something special for the if we make it to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, cameras on.
Whoever comes on the channel, whoever comes on the panel, we're gonna have cameras on. So make sure you sweep your floors. Make sure you got your living room looking nice. No virtual covers. Make sure you got your living room looking nice, or your studio, whatever you got. We're gonna be showing your face so everybody can put a face to all the crazy talk.
I'll be
Hey, I'm
all
gonna go
over the
live
place
at
watching these
halftime,
games.
man. If we make it.
You gonna go live at halftime?
Yeah, I'm gonna go live at halftime with you, man. So I'll jump on live
For sure.
at halftime.
For sure. For sure. So yeah, Phil watches soccer. He just loves life. Phil just loves to he's a sports fan and he'll do whatever to just enjoy his life. I like that about Phil. And he
Thank you. I
only,
appreciate it.
easy going, you know what I'm saying? He's an easygoing guy. He's just like, look, if it's a soccer game, a tennis match, I'll catch it. You know, as
Well,
long as
Harry, I'm gonna say this though: if you do go live and the Texas Truth calls in, please make sure that he don't have his CU sock and lotion sitting on the table when his camera come on.
DC go to bed.
That's all I
DC,
ask.
why you don't pick on my guests, DC.
I got mad love for the Texas Truth.
Stop picking on my guests. I want them to come back. Okay,
Yeah, it's all love. I'm just messing with you, bro. It's all good.
Don't pick on my guests. I want my guests to feel comfortable to come back with it on the show. Okay, I already don't have enough. I already lost a lot of CU people, so I want CU fan to feel everybody to feel comfortable when they come on the show. Anyways, guys, so we will have we will have a special show come Friday. Come with the information for Kansas, and we'll have a lot more depending on what transpires between now and Friday, and we'll talk about that. All right, guys, thank you for your time, and be out. You said drop the link in the chat. Nah, I'm not. I don't drop the
Y'all
link in
have
the
a
chat.
blessed one, man.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Like,
All right, see you, bro.
peace.
Peace out. Peace out, guys. I'm out.